The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Well, the Jets will not be going 20-0 this year. They lose to the Giants 31-12 in the second preseason game. And I'm seeing a lot of overreaction to what happened. We'll break down the game, hear from Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields, and take your calls. It's the Jake Asman Show post-game edition. Let's hit it and get it started.
You get the f*** out.
There's a number of things that I think about every morning that get me excited about being a part of this job. And plus, I just love what the hell I do. I have to address that. Between me and them, that's all you need to know. Every day, I'm living my dream. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, here on a Sunday, the day after the New York Jets lose to the Giants in their second preseason game. We will break down the game, but I want to start with this. Thank you to all the Asmaniacs who came out to our first watch party of the year last night. Thank you to T-Squared Social for being an awesome host. Big thank you to everyone who was there. Great turnout. Ton of Asmaniacs made their debut at a watch party. A bunch of Asmaniacs made their return to a watch party. Our halftime raffle was a major success. So I, of course, just want to thank everyone who took time to be there last night. A bunch of the photos have been posted in our Discord, which you gain access to when you become a Patreon member. So check it out. And if you were there, please post all your pictures there or shoot me an email with your best photos so we can continue to share it on the show. Our halftime raffle, congratulations to V-Man. He won the biggest prize I've ever given away during a raffle, a signed and framed Breece Hall jersey. And how about this? One, V-Man was awake to receive the prize. And two, V-Man was already wearing a Breece Hall jersey. So it's fitting that he was the big winner. Also, congratulations to listener George, who was there. He came away with a prize, the Aaron Glenn signed jersey. Mark Ferraro, good morning, Mark. He won the signed Wayne Corbett jersey. And the champ, Mr. Bonesy, won 2 tickets to the Jets-Panthers game in Section 129 with the Asmaniacs. So again, great turnout. Stay tuned for future information about watch parties for regular season games, but awesome night. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank everyone who was there that made it so much fun. We are presented by FanDuel. I lost my bet last night, taking the Jets. And look, let's get into this game. The Jets entered 3.5-point underdogs, and at halftime, it was 7-6. And I want to start with what we saw specifically from the first half offense and really the 2 drives that we saw from the starting offense. Because if you're someone who wants to be optimistic about Justin Fields taking a huge step forward and being able to, really turn into a quarterback that's not just known for making plays with his legs, but a quarterback that can continue to develop as a passer, last night certainly not going to make you feel really good about that. Now, let's also say this. Just like last week, I wasn't going goo-goo gaga over the Jets looking good in a preseason win over the Packers. I'm not going to go crazy over a preseason loss to the Giants. It's such a small sample size. But last night, Justin Fields did not look good. We could be honest. He was 1 of 5 for 4 yards. He missed Garrett Wilson a couple times. I'm not going to kill Justin Fields on the miss to Breece Hall. If you rewatch the play like I did, you could see he clearly got hit on it. But he checked out of whatever play was called to get into that. So he didn't read it properly because obviously the play didn't work. Obviously, we need to see Justin Fields in a fully opened up offense before we could judge progress. The Jets aren't going to show everything in the preseason. And so much of their offense is built around the fact that they're going to run the ball. And the one scoring drive they had with the starters, would they run the ball 10 out of 11 or 10 out of 12 plays on that drive that ended with the Nick Folk field goal? It's a limited sample size with a playbook that is not fully open. But until Justin Fields proves otherwise, this was the big concern with signing him. This is who he's been. I don't think it's Zach Wilson with legs like people on social media are trying to coin it. I don't think it's that bad. But once again, Fields and Garrett Wilson unable to get on the same page. I thought Fields put that pass on the third down that ended the drive where the Jets had to settle for 3. I thought he put that pass behind Garrett. That needs to be thrown more accurately. And look, this is going to be a work in progress. If I am going to criticize Aaron Glenn for something last night, I felt like the starting offense should have been out there for another drive. They only played 2 series, which kind of lends my belief to the fact, as I've been discussing on the show, that we're probably going to see the Jets offense and maybe even the starting defense play a little bit against the Eagles on Friday, right? It's a 6-day turnaround, so not a full week. So I could definitively see the Jets offense going out there on Friday and maybe playing a little bit. And that's why maybe Glenn only had them playing 2 series last night. But I felt like they needed the work. So I would have given the offense another series last night. Now, ultimately, Glenn didn't do that. So all we could do is judge the offense and specifically the quarterback on what we saw. And what we saw was an offense that once again can run the football, but a quarterback that until proven otherwise is struggling to complete passes downfield. And it's been an up and down summer for Fields in that regard. We can't go crazy yet. We know what he is. In the regular season last year, he completed around 65% of his passes. You know, you could design an offense that's successful with Fields if your defense is good, if your kicker, like Nick Folk has been all summer, is good, doesn't cost you points, doesn't lose you games. But until proven otherwise, Justin Fields is not a good passing quarterback. You could win with him if you mix in play action, if you get him on the run. I thought it was a good job by Fields finding Mason Taylor on that first drop back. But there's concerns with this passing attack. And I understand some are saying, well, they need another wide receiver. I've been on this for months. They're short there. But I don't think last night was because of a lack of a number 2 wide receiver. He missed Garrett Wilson on a timing play. He's got to hit him. They got to get that connection synced up before the start of the year. I think they will. And eventually the concern will be a wide receiver 2. But like Josh Reynolds and Allen Lazard, they don't do much. They don't. Tyler Johnson made a nice play in practice this week against the Giants, but he is what he is. They are going to need another pass catcher, but I think specifically in what I saw last night with the 2 drives, I don't think the lack of a number 2 wide receiver was the issue. And I'll be fair to Fields. On the opening drive, I thought Garrett Wilson was interfered with on that incompletion. But it doesn't excuse Fields for basically just locking in on him. I mean, he's zoned in on him. He's got to go through his reads. So I'm not going to sit here and do doom and gloom. I think that's silly. I thought Fields looked good last week in 1 drive. Last night, they only had 2 series. I would have liked to have seen a 3rd series, but until proven otherwise, my concern with the passing attack is real. And it's not just based on last night. It's based on looking at the history of the players the Jets have at wide receiver, the uncertainty at tight end. I like Mason Taylor. He's a rookie. So they got a lot of work to do. And I think they should consider adding another wide receiver, whether it's Gabe Davis or Amari Cooper. Just bring someone else into that room. Now, let's calm down with the doom and gloom, though, can we? I mean, it was 7-6 at halftime. Specifically, I thought the offensive line for the Jets in that first half, they looked good. Strong showing. Obviously, in the run game, they were at their best. They created 3 to 5 yard games consistently, right? 12-play drive, 10 rushing attempts I referenced. And let me give some credit to Tanner Engstrand. I thought Tanner Engstrand proved that he has a pulse of what he's doing, right? That 3rd and 8 call with Braylon Allen. That wasn't the classic, we don't trust our quarterback, we're surrendering the drive. Let's just, run, halfback draw, and call it a day, and we're punting. By the way, Austin McNamara, he could punt. All right, I hope I'm wrong. I didn't like moving on from Thomas Morstead. I felt like moving on from a guy who, well, was not what he was 2 years ago, still was okay last year. I thought it was risky to go with someone who's never punted. Hey, give credit to Chris Banjo, special teams coordinator, Glenn, whoever, Mike Westhoff. Looks like McNamara can really punt. He was excellent last night. 3 punts inside the 20? But back to Engstrom. I thought the 3rd and 8 was smart with Braylon Allen, right? The Giants were sending the house. It's 3rd and long. Here comes Abdul Carter and Kayvon, and here comes this Giants rush. So here's Braylon Allen, and you run it right at him, and that was a really good 3rd and 8 call. And I think if he was short, right, let's say he only got 6 and it was 4th and 2, you're going to go for it. And the Jets did go for it on 4th down last night, and I want to see the Jets all season be very aggressive on 4th down. You have nothing to lose. No one thinks this team is going to be any good, right? No one thinks this is a playoff team. So you want to see this team go out there, and you want to see them be aggressive, win along the margins, steal a possession or two. You have Fields. I think in regular season games, we will see the Jets utilize the tush push. They were one of the teams that voted in favor of keeping it. Fields is very good at that play in his career when they've done it in either Chicago or Pittsburgh. So I like the fact that Justin Fields, I believe, will be able to use that play on 3rd and short, 4th and short. If it's 3rd and 2, you can run the play twice and you're going to get 2 yards and move the chains. But I like being aggressive last night on 4th down, so I thought that was good. Glenn is not going to be Saleh, where it's like, oh, defensive coach, and their nature is to be conservative. No, be aggressive. Go for it. So positives being the O-line, Braylon Allen looking good again. Brees had a nice run. Let's be patient with Brees. I don't think they're going to show a lot of what they're going to do in the passing game with Brees until the games count. But once again, we're only judging this offense on 2 series last night with the starters. 2. And I thought the O-line looked good when they were out there. Now, let's talk about the defense. It's hard to judge the Jets defense when Will McDonald doesn't play, because Glenn said afterwards he has a knee injury that they want to be protective of. Sauce, while not on the list of players that were not going to play going into the game, it was obvious that he wasn't playing when you saw him standing there with like a mask on and like a hoodie. So he wasn't playing. So no Sauce, no McDonald, no Jermaine Johnson, no Quinnen. You're missing your best players on defense. And by the way, for those just tuning in, surprise, surprise, signed Jermaine Johnson jersey is our giveaway at the end of the show. I have it right here. So gift a membership or send in a super chat that qualifies. And at the end of the show, I will raffle away a signed JJ jersey. But let's call it for what it is, right? What we saw there from the defense was a bunch of backups having to play. And I think we saw that on the drive where the Giants scored the long touchdown. Quantez Stiggers and Andre Cisco, there was some sort of miscommunication there. I think it's more on Cisco than Stiggers. Looked like a cover 3 breakdown. And the Giants obviously scored on that long pass play, right? The 80-yard bomb. So that happens. Sauce wasn't there. I think Cisco, he's a boomer bust type player. He'll make plays. He also will allow big plays. I think it's more on Cisco. But once again, when you're judging the defense, it's hard to judge them without McDonald, Jermaine, Quinnen, and Sauce. Now, let's highlight a couple guys that I thought did play well. Brandon Stevens, that was a heck of a play he made in this game. And the Giants starters were still out there. That was Russell Wilson at quarterback. Right? Brandon Stevens is at a really good training camp. And he's backed it up now with some play on the field that we've seen, right? In-game action. If he's good, is the Jet defense going to be really, really good with Sauce and Stevens? And how about Michael Carter? Can we talk about him? He might still be one of the more underrated football players in the entire league. That's how good I think Michael Carter is. He made play after play last night in limited action. Having number 30 out there healthy is a big deal. I thought him and Stevens look really good last night. Now, here are the concerns you have. Safety could still remain an issue. I think we like Andre Cisco, but obviously I just talked about the bust in coverage there. And Malachi Moore, who I like, I think we're seeing a guy that is not ready to necessarily start week 1. I need him to stop trying to hit guys with his shoulder, and I need him to wrap up. Right? So I think it's going to be Tony Adams and Andre Cisco as the Jets starting safeties at the beginning of the season. And for all the talk, by the way, about A.Z. Thomas pushing Brandon Stevens to the bench or Stevens moving back to safety where he's played previously, I don't think that's happening. AZ Thomas has yet to play. I wonder if this is the type of injury where to maybe create another roster spot, they put him on short-term IR. He's out the first 4 games of the year. The Jets have plenty of depth at corner, whether it's Stiggers or Jarek Bernard-Converse, who made some plays, or Isaiah Oliver. They could cover putting Thomas on short-term IR and creating another roster spot that way. So I definitely could see that. But I think Malachi Moore might not be ready to start, at least just yet, which is okay. I mean, he was a day 3 pick. Let's have fair expectations for him. The depth on the D-line remains a concern. And I'm not talking about defensive tackle. How about defensive edge? Right? We know Jermaine's coming off the injury. It could take some time, despite what he says about how he's ready to go. And, they have parked the Ferrari, but I'm going to be back and I'm going to be the same player right away. That's the right mentality for any athlete to have. I think realistically, though, expecting Jermaine Johnson to be his Pro Bowl self right away, I'm not so sure. So a real concern I have are the edge rushers, right? You have Will McDonald, and can anyone else win one-on-one? Can anyone else get pressure on the quarterback? I would sign Jadeveon Clowney today. All right, Tyler Barron is not pushing Michael Clemens off this team or even pushing his playing time. Has he done anything? Right, that was a guy that they used a day 3 pick on. You look at the Jets' depth there, and I think it leaves a lot to be desired, to be kind. So I'm not even talking about defensive tackle, right? Jay Tafili, he didn't play like Aaron Donald last night. Okay, that's fine. But after McDonald and Jermaine, we're talking about what? Rashad Weaver, Tyler Barron, Michael Clemens, Eric Watts, Braden McGregor, Jonathan Kingsley, or Kingsley Jonathan. There's not much there. So don't love the depth at defensive edge. Now, let's see what happens with the starter next to Quinnen at DT. Cowart remains out. I didn't see a ton from Leonard Taylor last night. I didn't see a ton from Derek Nandi. Tafili right now feels like the runner, the leader in the clubhouse, so to speak, for that spot. Now, some other takeaways here. I'm going through my notes in real time. The bright spot I thought last night, if you want to highlight one of the backups, rookie safety Dean Clark, who's the son of ESPN analyst Ryan Clark, who a year ago hated the Jets because he has Aaron Rodgers derangement syndrome, but now he has to be a Jet fan. How ironic. Same with Joy Taylor, by the way. Hates the Jets. Oh, I'm Joy Taylor. Look at me. Well, now she has to root for the Jets because her nephew, Mason Taylor, is on the team. Kind of funny how that works. But Dean Clark last night, he was maybe the Jets' best defensive player, like him or Carter maybe, but Dean Clark played a lot more. 6 tackles, led the team, had a sack, had a TFL, 2 pass breakups, had the interception, quarterback hit. He was really good. So shout out to Dean Clark. I wanted to highlight him. I thought he was good last night. Now, I talked about the special teams already. Punter looks like a real weapon. Mentioned that. I think when it comes to some of the other spots on the roster, doesn't it feel like Nwanu's a roster lock? Like, I know Donovan Edwards, he had the good game last week, and we're all hyped about him. I think he's more of a practice squad guy. I think Nwanu's going to make this team because special teams, especially kickoff return, is very important, right? You're penalized now for a touchback to the 35-yard line, not the 30. So I think we see more kickoff returns. And I mean, this guy is not good. He's an outstanding kickoff returner in his career. Now, he's had a lot of injuries. We saw it even last year with the Jets. Scores a kickoff return touchdown, right? Didn't even recover a fumble in that game too. And then he got hurt and we never heard from him again. But the Jets are going to try and win a lot of tight games, right? Kicking, special teams, so important. I think Nwanou is going to make the team as a returner. He gives you something there. And if he could just be something at RB4, realistically, if Breece, Braylon, and Isaiah Davis, who didn't play last night, are healthy in the regular season, I think you could live with him being RB4. And Donovan Edwards is probably a practice squad guy, which is okay. But I think he had a good showing last night, right? I mean, that's kind of what was frustrating with that Jets first drive. They started at the 40-yard line of their own territory, and they ended up not getting any points on that drive. So they wasted great field position to start the game. We know Folk is steady. McNamara looked good. I already talked about him. I think Pritchard is probably going to be the punt returner. Xavier Gibson got hurt in this game with a shoulder. Second time he's been banged up this summer. I think, depending on the severity of the injury, maybe he's an IR guy and they figure it out after 4 games. Someone else will get hurt, or they just release him. I don't know. but he's not their guy. This regime didn't discover Xavier Gibson. So I think Jamal Pritchard's probably the favorite. Malachi Corley, I mean, does anyone still have any hope for him? I mean, I'm sorry. He's out there in the fourth quarter of these preseason games, and he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. I understand he was the 65th pick in the draft last year, right? First pick of the third round. They traded 2 draft picks to get him. Joe Douglas did that. Robert Saleh did that. Not Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn. So while it's nice to say, oh, Malachi Corley, a real staff could utilize him. We could blame it all on Nate Hackett last year. What's the excuse now? I think Engstrom would love to use Malachi Corley if he thought he could play, right? The Jets aren't cutting off their nose to spite their face on Malachi Corley because they didn't draft him. They didn't draft Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson. They didn't discover Jamie Sherwood as a day 3 pick and develop him from a safety to linebacker. Guess what they did? They still paid those guys because they're really good at football. So I think if Malachi Corley could actually do something, I think the Jets would try and find a role for him. I don't think he could play. And look, a lot of people are going to be wrong about Corley. All the draft analysts, people I love that had good scouting reports on him. That wasn't thought to be a reach when the Jets took him, but it's just an old-fashioned bust there with Corley, I think. Like, he might not be in the league in a couple of years. He's done nothing. So I don't think he's making the team. I think when you look at the battle for that last receiver spot, we'll see how many they take. Maybe they put Lazard on short-term IR because you don't want to release Lazard because then he's basically going to sign with the Steelers immediately. And at this stage in training camp, you basically have revealed your entire playbook to your team. He's going to go right to the Steelers and tell Mike Tomlin everything ahead of week 1. So if Lazard is actually, on the fence of being ready for week 1, maybe you just put him on short-term IR, and that allows you to keep maybe Quentin Skinner, who had a nice touchdown last night, or could Brandon Smith make this team? Right? Like Brandon Smith and Alan Lazard, is there that much of a difference? Not from what I've seen. Same body type. Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard, same type of player. Do we need the same type of player in that room? So maybe there's a way with some roster gymnastics there to prevent Lazard from being released like many Jet fans want, and then, he's going to go sign with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and tell them everything. Like, I don't want to see that, personally. I don't know how you guys feel. I would like to see the Jets not basically allow an informant to inform the Steelers ahead of the week 1, which is the game the Jets have to win. And that game is so important for obvious reasons. So, no on Corley. I don't see it. I think Pritchard, probably the leader there to make the team over Gibson, but we shall see. My big takeaway, though, is Nwanu looks like a roster lock, or Nwanu, however we pronounce his name. If he makes the team, we will all learn how to say it. And I think Edwards is a practice squad guy. Now, I do want to talk about Arian Smith. I like the fact that after some tough drops, he bounced back and made some plays, right? He had 2 catches for 36 yards in the second quarter. Can I see him out there with the starters? I mean, who else is emerging in that room? At least Arian Smith is fast. Now, there's issues with him. He can't play through contact. We're seeing that. It wasn't just the drops in college. The scouting report on him was also he doesn't play through contact well. Well, guess what? It's kind of what we've seen so far. Now, to be fair, one of the quote-unquote drops that people were going crazy about, watch the replay, he's getting mugged by the Giant defender. Like, there was clear PI to me. Just like I thought there was clear PI on the Garrett Wilson play that wasn't called. Maybe in the regular season it is. They were letting them play in the preseason. I don't know. But I thought there was clear PI there. That said, it was good to see Arian Smith go out there and make plays after a couple drops. Guys, he's a day 3, 4th-round pick. If you're expecting him to be awesome right away, that's unfair. If you say, he stinks because he has a drop, that's also unfair. This conversation with Smith sometimes takes on a life of its own. The problem is they almost need him to be better than what your typical day 3 pick would be because they don't have great receivers, which I've been on for months. So hopefully Darren Muji can do something and improve that room. But I will give credit to Smith because he made some plays last night. And it's not like, he's catching with his plays. And I thought he was good when, he had to actually go out there and extend his arms forward and catch the football. So give him some credit there. We're in the middle of our post-game show. We're talking about the top takeaways from last night's Jets loss to the Giants in preseason number 2. If you're just tuning in, we're giving away a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey on the show today. So gift the channel membership if you haven't already. And ladies and gentlemen, at jakeasman.com right now, ahead of the season, you could purchase your G5 shirts. Mine finally came in yesterday, so I'm rocking it on the show. They got to get Garrett Wilson going. Head over to jakeasman.com, and you can check it out there. Some other notes I have from this game, and then we'll hear from both Aaron Glenn and Justin Fields and take plenty of your calls. Shout out to Jarek Bernard Converse. Made a nice play at the goal line. Every time he seemingly plays, it seems like he does something, which I like. He didn't play in the first game last week. They have real depth at the corner spot. Highlighted that earlier with Michael Carter and Brandon Stevens. He was another guy I had in my notes that I wanted to talk about. But overall, I think the talk is going to be about this passing attack. And right now, it remains a concern, but not because of just last night, but because of the fact it's been up and down this summer. And that's who Fields has been until proven otherwise. He's a great runner and a very streaky passer. It's on Engstrand to design an offense that could overcome some of those deficiencies. But the Jets themselves have said, we're going to let Fields play quarterback. And I thought that was bold of Glenn to say that. You're basically saying his previous places, he was not being coached up to be a quarterback. Well, let's see you guys coach Fields up, because right now there's a lot to be desired. And it's not all on Fields last night that, the stats are the stats. But there are a couple misplays in there, and him and Garrett Wilson got to get on the same page. That's why if I'm going to criticize Glenn for anything last night, I would have gave the starters another series, right? Russell Wilson played at least 3 drives. He played into the second quarter. The Jets, after 2 series, there were 38 seconds left when Adrian Martinez came out for what was the Jets' third offensive possession. That's my only criticism of Glenn, but I think that does probably lend to the fact that we will see Fields and the offense play at least a drive, if not more, Friday night against the Eagles at MetLife Stadium. Now, I mentioned Aaron Glenn. Let's hear from the head coach. This was Aaron Glenn at the podium last night with his postgame.
On the injury front, X had a shoulder. All right, we'll see what the severity of that will be. Had 2 hamstrings. Weaver had a hamstring, and Coop had a hamstring, one of our corners. So that's what we had on the injury front. When you look at the overall game, wasn't good enough at all. I mean, that's no surprise. And on all levels, I thought we were sloppy. I thought we were undisciplined. And when I say undisciplined, I'm talking about some of the penalties that we had. I think we had about 8 or 9 penalties that we got to clean up. But overall, man, we got to play much better. And that's the beauty of this game. It's the beauty of this game because it always teaches you lessons. Right? One week, man, you could be riding high because things are going extremely well. Then the next week, man, it can put you on your ass. It can put you on your ass. And the thing about it, man, if you want to be a winning team, you have to always do everything you can to stay at that level of always keeping things above board. And we didn't do that today. And I understand that. The only thing that we have to do is make sure we look at the positives in this year. We had a really good 2-minute drive. Thought our offense did a hell of a job. We had two INTs on the defensive side. Everything else that we did was wrong, man, we go back to work next week, right? And that's the plan for us, to go back to work. Any questions?
What was your overall thoughts on the starting offense?
Overall, in general, we weren't good enough. I don't care if it's the starting offense. I don't care if it's the second-team offense, the third-team offense. I'm just going to say overall it wasn't good enough. Listen, I thought we ran the ball fairly well, right? But just overall I thought we were sloppy. And the guys know that. You know, we had too many drop passes. Our passing game have to be better, right? We all know that, and it will be better. But again, we just have to go back to work, and that's what next week is going to be about. Man, I understand there's going to be a lot of noise on the outside, and I get it, all right? But our guys know, man, we're going to put our heads down and go back to work.
The push you were getting on that second drive, I think there was 10 runs there, just one pass. You guys moved the ball in the run.
I thought it was a 12-play drive on that. That's when we kicked the field goal, right? Yeah, I thought our guys did a really good job of that. Man, we know that, you know, if we can just hunker down and get our guys to run the ball, that's an advantage for us. But, man, just overall still, I mean, it just wasn't good enough.
What went wrong on the 80-yard bomb?
I have to look at the tape and see, you know, but we don't want any explosive passes, you know, and I think they had like 2 or 3 of them. So I have to look at the tape and make sure take a look at that and see what happened.
Talked about the offense overall. What did you think of Justin in his 2 series?
I don't want to continue to say the same things over and over again. The offense in general was not good enough.
What
Think about the play as some of your young receivers.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the guy that really stuck out to me. There were really two guys. When you talk about the receivers in general, I thought B. Smitty did a really good job. And he's been doing a good job in practice also. And I thought Skinner really showed up. Both of those guys are big guys. They both go up there and high point the ball. And, listen, I thought it was a good showing for those guys.
Why didn't Will play?
Say it again.
Will McDonald, why didn't he play?
Will had a knee issue, all right? So I want to protect him from himself.
And do you have any update on Sauce?
He had a calf. The same thing he had in the week. Yep.
How do you feel broadly about where your passing game is at? Not even just from today's game, just at this point of the summer.
Listen, I think it's up and down, all right? And there's been a lot of ups in camp that I really like. Today was not one of those days, which was obvious. But, listen, I still have a lot of confidence in what those guys can do because they've shown it to me. And once you show it, I feel like you can continue to do it. So we just got to go back to work next week, and continue to hone in on those areas where we got to just be better at. And that's what it's about, man. It's about working. And I told you, we have guys that mature. We have guys that want to be good. And I expect that from those guys. So I'm looking forward to getting back to next week and getting to work on our passing game.
This is a couple of days old, but you guys had a couple of veteran quarterbacks in for workouts.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the thought process. Obviously, Taylor's out for another week or so. What was the thought process?
Well, that was it. He was out. We had Brady went down with an ankle in practice, so we wanted to make sure we had some protection.
That's Aaron Glenn last night talking about a disappointing performance, to quote him, from the passing attack. He did highlight Brandon Smith, by the way. Smitty, he referred to him as. So keep that in mind when we're talking about, the roster crunch at the wide receiver spot. He referenced what I already told you guys about McDonald being held out with a knee injury that is precautionary more than anything. So, look, they only played 2 series. I would have loved to see Justin Fields and the offense go back out there for a third drive. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the show today, we're giving away a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey. I have it right here. So if you win, I'll get it mailed to you today if you tell me your information. Now, tomorrow on the show, and what will likely be our second stream, we're giving away a signed Darrelle Revis jersey, signed Nick Mangold jersey, and a signed Wayne Corbett mini helmet. So if you get the membership for the Jermaine jersey today and you don't win, you're automatically entered to win our weekly prizes tomorrow on the show. So enter the raffle for your chance to win. And ladies and gentlemen, he's back with a vengeance. Hailing from England, Jets Forever #2, a $200 super chat, 40 raffle entries for JF2.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Oh, baby, yeah. Jets Forever 2, the man, the myth, the legend. He's back. Really happy the season is back and seeing your community grow, Jake. Pumped for my boy, V-Man. I'm pumped that you're back, JF2, and I can't thank you enough for your tremendous support of the show. How about that? 40 entries in our raffle for JF2. He's the leader in the clubhouse to win a signed JJ jersey at the end of the stream. Let me get caught up on some super chats here, and then we're going to get to your calls on the post game. Of course, you'll hear from Justin Fields still to come as well. John, who was at our event last night, this is our guy Jack. He became a channel member. He's in the raffle for one. Thank you, John. John O'Reilly checks in. Happy anniversary, Jets fans. The real Super Bowl, 8/17/1969. First time the Jets played the Giants. 70,000 packed the Yale Bowl. Jets 34, Giants 17. And that game was important because it added validity to the Jets being the defending Super Bowl champions, that it wasn't a fluke, right? They beat the Giants, looked good doing it, and it was treated like an actual game, even though it was a preseason game. So a little Jet history there for you. Daniel Bloom with the super chat. We will be drafting a quarterback next year. Well, can we be honest? Isn't that the most likely outcome here? Like, look at Justin Fields' contract. It's bridge quarterback money. It's 2 years, $40 million total, $30 million guaranteed. The reason why the Jets were able to sign him, I believe, is because they promised him the starting job. That's why Glenn, who's all about preaching competition, anointed Fields as the starter without any competition. They recognize Fields as the best option of bringing in a guy where there's at least some sort of chance of him being the long-term guy, right? If they sign Jameis Winston, there's a 0% chance he's the long-term guy. Russell Wilson, 0% chance he's the long-term guy. Jacoby Brissett, traded for Kirk Cousins, 0% chance. Any of these names I could tell you, once they decided they were moving off of Aaron Rodgers, could be their long-term guy. Fields is on his third team in 3 years. So in all likelihood, he's not going to develop into a franchise quarterback. That's what the betting odds would tell you. That's why the Jets win total at FanDuel is between 5.5 and 6.5. If Justin Fields clicks like Sam Darnold did, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith in Seattle, then maybe we have something. But the likelihood of the Jets not needing a quarterback is low. So accept that. Understand they're trying to still have a competitive year where they could be scrappy and be better than we think by playing great defense, being good in the closeout of halves, being good with timeouts, having good special teams, right? Basically being really well coached, having a good defense, and a running game that should be really good. You're not going to win 10, 11, 12 games with that. You're going to need some more firepower from your quarterback throwing the ball in today's NFL. Can you be scrappy, though, and win 8 or 9 games? I think you can. That's what they're trying to do. And if Fields is better than we think, guess what? You'll take that. But the likelihood of it is not great. It's probably, like I said, I think I said on the show, 20% that Fields is the guy. But that 20% is 20% higher than any other option once they decided we're moving off of Aaron Rodgers. I want to see a team this year that is well coached, that has players that get better. And if they're scrappy and they win 8 or 9 games and we still determine Fields is not the guy, I'll live with it. Right? I don't have lofty expectations for Fields. He is what he is. The idea that they were getting better at quarterback moving on from Aaron Rodgers was laughable. Laughable. But that doesn't mean they can't have a better offense if Engstrand is a really good coach. Brees, Braylon, Isaiah, Olu, Membu, Tippmann, Simpson, AVT. There's talent there. And if it's utilized, Garrett, Mason, they could be competent. But they're going to need really good coaching. And that's to be determined. So we'll see. That's why I don't have the Jets as a playoff team. People are like, oh, you're so negative. I'm a realist. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Jets win 10 games, 12 games. Right? I'm the guy who had them winning 12 the last 2 years, and they stunk. So, but the idea, we're going to be drafting a quarterback, probably, but we'll worry about that then. We're not doing the tank talk now on August 17th. Let's enjoy the year. Let's root for Justin Fields. Let's hope he gets better. Let's hope they're not, and I don't think they are. Let's hope they're not showing everything, which clearly they aren't. So much of their offense is going to be around him running. We haven't seen Fields run that much. He ran for the touchdown last week. That's him. That's their plan. If Fields develops and is great, awesome. In all likelihood, he's not the guy long-term. Accept that. And you'll be able to look at this year for what it is. Where you're trying to be, a scrappy surprise team, Mark Sanchez style, 2009 ground and pound. That team was way better. But this Jets team does have talent. So can they be scrappy? Yeah, they can. They can win a lot of tight one-score games. Nick Folk could be awesome. They won 7 2 years ago with a quarterback room that consisted of Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Trevor Siemian. So there's a path for the Jets to be relevant this year and win 8 games. That's the whole point. Let's build the roster. Let's see if we have a coach. And if we're drafting a quarterback next year, that quarterback is stepping into a situation that is light years better than what Sam stepped into and even what Zach stepped into. That's the point. But if you're expecting Fields to be something he hasn't been, I'm sorry. That's probably not going to happen here. I hope it does, but let's be fair. Oregon Jets says, Jets win the marketing Super Bowl every year. This quarterback's complete trash, 3-14. I would calm down. You really think they're going to go 3-14 with this roster, Oregon Jets? Nonsense. Mother effing Chew joins the Jermaine Johnson raffle and our weekly raffle. Well done, Chew. Peter Castro with a super chat. Can't judge anything in 2 series. 1 quarter would have been better. Well, they basically played a quarter, Peter. Fields was pulled with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. That's when Martinez came out. I would have played a third drive, right? Russell Wilson played another drive. And the Giants used 4 quarterbacks last night. By the way, how unfair is Jameis Winston, who's the first pick in the draft, who's won games in the league before, against third and fourth stringers? Come on. Like, even Tommy DeVito's won games in the NFL before. Like, the Giants in preseason are wagons. Their depth at quarterback's outstanding. And Dart, I thought, looked good for them, by the way. It was a lot of screens and checkdowns, but he looked good. But he's not doing it against starters. So the idea that the Giants should start Dart week 1 now, I don't think so. I know this is not a Giant show, but I do cover the Giants on ESPN New York. I'd be very weary of using preseason stats to justify starting a rookie. Zach Wilson, look at his preseason stats as a rookie. They were unreal. So be careful, Giants fans. That's all I'll say about that. Bino with a super chat. Jacob, I could see Fields averaging 20 throws a game this year. Run will be the plan. Yeah, and Fields is a big part of that. Bang Mateo writes in, Fields seems to be regressing without Arthur Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Bang Mateo making his mark felt. Bang, thank you for the time, and we will see you later.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
So Bang Mateo to be talking about Arthur Smith. Stop it. Stop it, Bang. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right, before we get back to your super chats and get to your calls, let's talk about today's sponsor. Today's sponsor, Beats Custom Apparel. If you saw me last night at our watch party, you saw me repping my brand new custom Beats Air Jordan sneakers, baby. I have not just Asmaniac shoes, but I have right here Jake Asman Show Jets themed Jordans. Kyle, who is the founder of the company, Kyle and his lovely wife, they were at our watch party last night. So Jet fans, Asmaniacs, if you want custom kicks ahead of the season, beatscustoms.com, promo code JETS1 will get you off every item that you could purchase there. Any custom line you want. A bunch of Asmaniacs, I was told, have already purchased some Beats custom shoes. So that was really cool to hear from Kyle last night. But here are the photos of the shoes on the screen so you guys could see it. But, I mean, just incredible, incredible artwork and custom shoes here. So I repped these last night that you see on the screen, and the feedback was off the charts. So thank you again to Kyle for sponsoring the show. And hopefully you guys support a local Jet fan, family-owned business. Kyle told me that his kids are Jet fans, and every time he takes them to a game and they lose, he apologizes, but says you guys had no choice, which I respect. It builds character, right? Teaches you life is not fair. So support a Jet fan business. Kyle's awesome. He was at the party last night for those who met him. And, man, how sick are these shoes? So Beats Custom Apparel. Go to beatscustoms.com. The link is in the description for those not watching live. Check it out and get yourself some fresh kicks ahead of the Jets' upcoming season. Once again, Beats Custom Apparel. Link is in the description for this postgame show that you are watching. All right, let's get back to your super chats. Then we're going to mix in your calls, hear from Justin Fields as well. Craig M. writes in, Brees looks like he's going the Javonte route. Brees had a nice run last night. Can we calm down? Have we seen Brees all utilized in the passing attack yet? No? Oh, good, because that's a big part of the regular season plan. Fly by night in our raffle, both daily and weekly tomorrow for 5. Thank you, Fly by night. His $20 super chat says, weak showing from Fields, but the team still fought, still bullish on the coaching staff. We need to let them develop this team over time. One summer isn't enough to wash away years of stink. Let's go, Jets. Completely agree. And by the way, if you want a positive from last night, welcome to the NFL, Abdul Carter. I mean, look at this. Stone Smart. Boom. And then stay down there. Boom. Stay down, Abdul. Stone Smart, already to me, better than Jeremy Ruckert. Once again, Ruckert doing nothing. Now, he's making the team. For those saying Jeremy Ruckert's going to get cut, I don't think it's a lock, but, I mean, he's out there every time Fields is out there, so that tells you what the Jets think about him. He's a starter. But this was a highlight. Abdul Carter, boom. You got stoned by Stone Smart. BP York checks it. Had a great time with you and the Asmaniacs at T-Squared. See you at the next one. Go Jets. BP, thank you for coming out, man. I know you've been to a bunch of these. Great to talk with you last night. thank you again for your support. BP, speaking of support, he's in our raffle now for 5. Hey, now, let's go, baby. What are we playing for today, Herm?
Hello? You play to win the game.
We're playing for a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey at the end of today's stream. Bang Mateo trying to get back in my good graces. He's gifted a membership. Hey, now. I'll be in a forgiving mood, Bang. You won't be sentenced for the entire show. You'll be out of the hole in 2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Again, thanks to everyone who was at our watch party last night. Your calls coming up shortly. But first, let's hear from Justin Fields. How did he think the offense played last night? Let's take a listen.
Justin, what's your overall feeling on the 2 series you were in there for?
I think it has to be better. It wasn't up to our standard. I think you can really just keep it simple and playing like that.
Justin, do you feel like you captivated this offense and ready to go for the season?
I think we still got some more work to do. I do think we built a great foundation, but like I said, it just wasn't up to our standard tonight.
How about the running game, especially on that second series? Seemed to what was working there so well, and how important was that?
Yeah, it was good. O-line, of course, it starts up front, and then Brees and Braylon, they had a few good runs in there, and kept us moving the ball. So, like you said, they were toting the ball, but it all starts up front with our O-line.
Justin, we haven't seen you push the ball down the field a lot.
Yeah, no, I was really thinking that today on the sideline.
In the games and in training camp, is that the defense taking it away from you? Is it the plays not being called? What kind of is the?
Yeah, it's the defense taking away. I think we called one kind of deep intermediate pass today, but all those linebackers kind of sunk under that, and that's when I kind of ran and got like 5-6 yards. But we haven't. But like I said, it'll come. No need to force it. When you try to force it, that's when tip balls, picks happen. So my mindset is always going to be take what the defense gives me. So yeah.
I think when you and Garrett had the reunion, everyone assumed that things were just going to pick up the way it was at Ohio State. Obviously, you tried to get him, I think, 3 times tonight. Could you just talk about, after the long layoff of several years, getting back together with him, and you have to go through that same process with him, build chemistry? Not really. Teams know that Garrett is our number one receiver, so they're going to game plan and try to take him away. I think on the first one, they were playing soft cloud over there and hit a hit, so that corner was kind of sitting on him. So I tried to check it down to Brees. Second one, on the screen, I just got to get it to him. Snap was high, you can say that, but at the end of the day, I got to get the ball to him. And the third one, just good defense. So but like I said, teams know that we're going to try to get him the ball because, of course, he's one of our top playmakers. And like I said, I don't think there's. Of course, we're always going to keep getting better and improving, but once that season rolls around, once we really start game planning, we'll definitely feed him and give him the ball more for sure.
Would you like to play in the last preseason game?
That's not my decision. Ultimately it's up to coach. So yeah.
Couple more. How do you feel about where the passing offense is just broadly as you had in this last couple weeks before the season starts?
I feel like it's in a solid spot. But like I'm always going to say, you guys are going to, how do you guys feel about da-da-da-da? I'm always going to say, we need to improve. We have room to improve. And that goes with everything. So you guys can ask me, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about that? It's going to be the same answer every time. There's room to grow in every aspect, the offense, myself, just everyone. So, yeah.
Okay. Any of the younger receivers jump out to you, Justin, when you're watching on the sideline?
Arian, I think he had a good day. Q, of course, he had his first touchdown pass. Pritch, he had a good day as well. And I think those are the guys who kind of stood out to me today. But we've had a lot of young guys, make plays in camp and stuff like that. So just excited to get back to work this week with them and get into this last preseason game with them and see them keep making plays. So yeah.
Look, the one thing about Fields, he's going to hold himself accountable, and he's very good at the podium at saying not much. So he's not going to create headlines like Rodgers would with comments, but he's got to step it up. It's only 2 series, though. That's why I would have loved to have seen a third drive for the starting offense. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, enter our raffle at the end of the show for the signed JJ jersey. If If you don't win tomorrow on the show, second show, Darrell Rivas signed jersey, Nick Mangold signed jersey, Wayne Corbett signed helmet. All right, here we go to your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. First up today is a guy who was typing a lot in the Discord. He's got a ton of takes. Let's break down what he thought about the game. It's Clifton time.
I reject the idea that I type a lot outright. I use just enough words to get my point across.
I thought you were excellent. I enjoyed, by the way, reading your 53 roster prediction when I got back from the watch party last night.
Sure. You didn't think it was too premature?
No, I enjoyed it. I was sitting there going, you know what I need right now after a night of drinking and watching the Jets score one touchdown in the preseason? I need Kyle Clifton's 53-man roster prediction. And boy,
Sure.
did you deliver. So thank you.
Well, it's always going to be there for you. So, my two biggest problems with Fields last night is, a screen like that, you can't bounce that pass to Garrett. Like, you have to have a little bit more confidence in your guy, right? These guys are supposedly have a rapport. In the preseason, we know it's going to be vanilla. We know that there might not be a whole bunch of stuff downfield. It's a kind of a small window, but I would expect that he would be a little bit more confident in delivering that type of pass. My other problem with him was his wardrobe is just atrocious. He looks like he's teaching a kindergartner's finger painting class. Like he showed up to the post game in a schmuck, so I didn't really care for that much. But I think people are overreacting. It's we're gonna wait and see what he can deliver with non-vanilla game plans with his legs, and we'll see if we can scheme some guys open and make a marginal improvement over what we had last year. Like, Bang is talking about Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith's Steelers were directly ahead of the Jets in yards per game last season. We were 23rd and they were 22nd. So, and the bulk of that was with Russ, right? So, I think people tend to overreact a little bit on what we've seen in preseason, but there's some stuff that you take away. Guys that are kind of making an impression, and for guys that are unproven in the league, like Brandon Smith, this is the time for them to do it and seize those opportunities, and it seems like he's doing it. Like, I think he's got 7 catches for 71 yards over a 10-yard average across the 2 games, and he was pretty good last night.
He made plays, right? Yeah. Like, why can't he play more than Lazard? Like, what does Lazard do that is so much better than what I've seen from Smith?
My whole point would be, Jake, is why even keep Lazard, right? If you know you're not winning the Super Bowl this year, and you think these guys have some potential, be it him or Skinner, it's a good chance that Smith and or Skinner or both will end up either on the team or on the practice squad, right? And they should. And these are the guys who should be afforded the opportunities. We've had two seasons of Alan Lazard dropping footballs and disappointing us, and at times being unprofessional. I don't need to have a third season of it. I'm not too concerned about the miscommunication in a preseason game between Cisco and Stiggers. I think Stiggers is a good player. I think Cisco is a good player. I think we need to tap the brakes a little bit on some of the stuff we're seeing.
Take a Cho pill, as they say.
A Cho pill, you're right. And Brees hasn't shown us quite what we would like to have seen. He did have 1 or 2 decent runs. I thought that Braylon Allen looked pretty good. I think that in thinking about it since last night, I think Donovan Edwards is probably going to be poached by another team if they try and put him on the practice squad. And there really is a numbers crunch there. 5 running backs might be a little unrealistic. I think that's what I had in my initial 53. But I also thought, that Mwangu really did distinguish himself last night. Um, there's probably spots for Nguanu and Pritchett on this team, but let's not get too carried away with Justin Fields' performance. Like I
It was
think
2
that
drives. It was 2
yes,
drives.
it's 2 drives. That's exactly right.
It was
Um,
7-6 at halftime. We're acting like the Jets were just destroyed. It was 7-6 at halftime, and the offense played 2 drives.
maybe accentuate the positive, Jet fans. The special teams looks better, right?
We got a punter. I think I was wrong on it being a mistake to release Morstead so far. He looks really good.
And we know we have confidence in Folk, right? So like there's going to be ups and downs this season. It should be more about developing some of the younger players, and this roster is very, very young, to see if you have something. Maybe, Brandon Smith or Skinner can be a fourth receiver for you as early as next year, right? Let's see. And Arian Smith, he continues to kind of pleasantly surprise, although that first drop was abysmal. So
at least he's doing it now and not in the games that count.
Right. But, I'll be right there to jump him when he does in the regular season. Thanks for your time, Jake.
Kyle, you're the man. Great call. Look, it's 2 drives. We'll evaluate them because that's what we have to look at. Just like last week, we got excited about 1 drive, but I said it's 1 drive. Take everything, good or bad, with a grain of salt. You can learn things from the preseason, but it's not the end-all be-all. The 2008 Detroit Lions were 4-0 in the preseason. Zach Wilson had a 115 quarterback rating in the preseason his rookie year. Let's take a breath. And once again, I'm not a Fields truther, right? I'm telling you guys, I wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers. I was on the record for that. He's a better quarterback. But I will defend Justin Fields from the standpoint of what he does well is not going to be able to show itself in the preseason or during practices. They're not going to show everything. And it's a designed offense to run the ball. And when they've had to run the ball this year, guess what? We've seen them do it well. They won 9 games with Mark Sanchez. He threw 12 touchdowns and 20 interceptions, leading the NFL as a rookie. You can win games with Trevor Siemian, Tim Boyle, and Zach Wilson if your defense is good, your kicking's good, and your coaching is not abysmal. And a couple years ago, I think we all could agree, 7 wins with that team was not terrible, given the quarterback situation. So let's take a breath. To quote Genergy, who was at our watch party last night, shout out to Genergy and Cynthia representing the 4%. Take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. Hey, I want to plug this because we got a massive audience tuned in live right now. 500 plus watching on just YouTube alone. Twitter's telling me I have another 400 people in here, which Elon lies about the numbers, but that's another conversation for another day. The Gangrene Legends Cruise is coming. For those of you who have not been watching the show, I teamed up with Sojourn Travel. They are a luxury travel company, and we're bringing you the first ever Gangrene Legends Cruise that is going to feature Jets legends, Jets content creators, Fireman Ed, and myself set and sail next year to Bermuda. All the info is available at cruisewithlegends.com, but I want to highlight this because we're doing a special right now. If you book by September 7th, that's week 1, you'll save $500 on our cruise, which next year is May 30th through June 4th, 2026. On this cruise, we have the following Jets legends that are signed, sealed, and agreed to be joining me and the crew. Kevin Mawai, Chris Ivory, Marty Lyons, Bilal Powell, Leon Washington, Jericho Contry, and Sean Ellis. Plus, more names to be announced. The more signups we get, the more players we're looking to have be a part of the Gangrene Legends Cruise. I'm going to be hosting panels with all these players and content creators. Fireman Ed's hosting a kickoff party on the cruise. We got different events planned with the players, autograph signings, meet and greets. You could have dinner or lunch with a Jet legend. So we got a bunch of different opportunities for Jet fans as maniacs, people that want to have a good time to enjoy themselves on this cruise. Cruisewithlegends.com. all the info. Book by September 7th, and you'll save $500. So, I mean, I'm pumped. So if you're just hearing about it for the first time, check out the website, cruisewithlegends.com. Reach out to Andy, who's the travel advisor I'm working with, if you have any questions about the logistics or the pricing. But it's all there for you, Jet fans. And I think this is going to be an incredible time. I'm glad Matt, Richie, Green Bean, Ryan, they're coming on this cruise with me. So check it out. All right. Back to your calls. But first, a couple of super chats to address. Beats Custom Kicks. Kyle, I hope you heard my shout out for you and your company earlier in the show. Thank you again for coming to the watch party last night and allowing me to rock the coolest shoes in the building. Beats Custom Kicks writes, and hey, Jake had a blast last night. We'll definitely be at more events moving forward. Let's not jump off the bridge yet. It's preseason. Let's see what happens week 1. I'm a big Jermaine Johnson guy, so I'm in for the jersey. Beats, well said. 2 drives. If we're going to go goo-goo gaga over 1 last week, how could we do doom and gloom this team's winning 3 games after 2 this week? Right? Ask yourself that. If you were excited a week ago after 1 drive, how could you go nuts and say they're going to suck after 2 drives? The answer is, you're nuts, I'm nuts, we're Jet fans. I get it. But let's take a Cho pill, all right? A big Cho pill. Mike Perez in the raffle for 2 with this. Thank you, Mike. Just tuning in, Jake. Game was a disappointment, but I won't overreact. Do we think we should look for other options at backup quarterback? Maybe keeping 3. No, I think it's a waste of a roster spot. The reality is, if we're on our 3rd quarterback, we're effed anyway. Right? I mean, if Tyrod can't play week 1, can they get away with Martinez for 1 week? I think they can. Or Brady Cook. I think they can. I don't know. Who are the options to add at quarterback? Unless you're telling me we're getting Jameis Winston for like a 7th round pick, which I don't think they are. Who are we adding that's a big upgrade over Tyrod or Martinez or Cook? They worked out Nathan Peterman this week. He sucks. Sorry. He stinks. He can't play. Like, I'm good. All right. The reality is we're on our 3rd quarterback anyway. We're tanking the year in all likelihood. Garrett Nussmeier, come on down. Drew Aller, come on down. Lenoris Sellers, come on. Like, what was the line from like Tom Moore? He was the old Colts offensive coordinator. Someone asked him, one of the broadcasters that was doing a Colts game that week, hey, I noticed at practice, like you guys only give like Peyton Manning all the reps. Like the backup quarterback never takes any reps. And Tom Moore's response to that broadcaster was, well, we don't like the practice fucked. And if Peyton goes down, we're fucked. So, like, that's kind of how I look at it with Fields and Tyrod. Like, excuse my language if there's kids around, but we're fucked if they're both hurt, if we're on our 3rd quarterback. All right? Like, there's no Brock Purdy on this team, I don't think. All right? Save the clip. And if I'm wrong, I'll never be happier if the Jets stumble into greatness at quarterback with Martinez or Cook or Peterman or whoever else sucks balls. Sorry, but I'm fired up right now. Like, I'm good. All right? Excuse my language. Lou B in the raffle for 2. I was at a game. I'm very serious about this comment. Giants fans suck. They cannot compare to Jet fans. On every level, we have them beat. Energy, passion, and so much more. F those fans. Well, I think if we're being honest, we know Jet fans are better than Giant fans. The Jet fan base is more passionate. The Jet fan base, we have 15 great content creators on YouTube alone. I can think of like 2 Giant content creators, but they're the New York Football Giants. Ugh. I mean, the Jet fan base is a different breed of passion, man. We know this. That said, both teams have been horrific. So it is what it is. Look, the Jets, they didn't play well. The 2 starting drives for the offense. But if any Giant fan is trying to talk trash, just show them this on a loop. Because I will enjoy watching this all week long, baby. All week long. Stone Smart. Stonewalling. Abdul Carter. Yeah. Inject that into my veins, huh? Inject it into my veins. On a serious note, though, Stone Smart, is he not already better than Jeremy Ruckert? Right? Like, come on. Let's be fair. If Jeremy Ruckert wasn't born 20 minutes from where I grew up in Lindenhurst, I don't know if we're still holding out hope for him. He'd just be looked at like Malachi Corley. Corley's a little different because he's only in his 2nd year, but he'd be looked at like another Joe Douglas, skill position pick on day 2 or day 3 that didn't work out. But because he's from Long Island, we're all still holding out hope. But I've kind of lost a lot of faith, unfortunately, in Jeremy Ruckert to this point. All right, let's get back to your calls right now. Reminder, giveaway, end of the show. Jermaine Johnson, signed jersey is the prize. Number 1 Austrian Jet fan is in the raffle. He just gifted 5 memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Love it. Thank you, Austrian Jet fan, for your support. Let's get some of your calls now. A lot of people want in on the conversation. I will stay on as long as I can for this post-game show. Plus, my guy Dylan Tereman is going to pop in for some of his observations. Let's say hello to Michael Levinson, who's next. What's up, Michael?
Morning, Jake. A lot of my points that I had written down, and it just shows how good host you are. I never usually talk before you get on. I write in the chat. Everything that I wrote in the chat before you got on, you brought up. It's just amazing. So I'm glad the party was good last night.
Well, that's why that's why the post game was today. Now, normally, if anyone who's been with me a while knows, I go live after the game immediately. Preseason, right. I'm like, I'm going to enjoy myself. Yeah. So we had a good time at T Squared last night.
I mean, I don't normally like driving in the city. I mean, I live in Hackensack by the brewery, Hackensack Brewery, which is not far from where you are. So maybe on a Sunday where it's not as crazy in the city, I'll join you guys. Just a couple of points. Arian Smith, I thought he had a good game. I was talking in the chat and no one agreed with me. Like you said, can we see him play with the starters? Let's see what he has. The one drop, like you said, on the sideline, he was covered. You know, I think he's having a good camp, you know, in my opinion. We ran the ball well, but there was also no Dexter Lawrence in there too. So let's take a little hype on that. As far as Fields is concerned, I was going crazy last night. You talked me down on that, I got to tell you.
Were you excited a week ago?
Well, like I told you a couple days ago, when I was talking to Connor, I made a statement. You can go back to the show. I said, I need to see him against the Giants. I made that statement 4 days ago. I think it was Wednesday. And I didn't see what I wanted to. Now, I know what he is. Let's call it like it is. I mean, what you said is 100% right. But he still needs to get the ball down the field, all right? I mean, because this is a passing league. We're not going to run the ball 35, 40 times and win, you know. And on one last point, people were talking about Giant fans. My friends were calling me thinking Jackson Dart now was the best thing next to sliced bread. And I said to them, 2 preseason games 5 years ago, Daniel Jones was Danny Dimes, and he was your savior. How'd that work out for you? You know, so I'm optimistic. I said to Connor, I'm going in with just to have fun watching this year. No expectations, because that's the only way you can go right now. Jake, you're doing a great job. I appreciate you taking my call.
Michael, appreciate you making the call. I looked it up. Zach Wilson's rookie year, these were his preseason numbers. 15 of 20, 196 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, quarterback rating of 136. I think it's only a story if the rookie quarterback who comes in against backups and third stringers and future insurance salesmen, if they look horrendous. So, look, darts look good, but I'd calm down, Giants fans. But we went through this as Jet fans. So Jet fans last week, you all were telling me Fields is going to be amazing because of what, like, everyone take a breath. All right. These games, I don't want to say that they don't mean anything. They obviously mean something. You could gain knowledge of how the coaches feel about players based on who's out there with the starters, who's playing deep into the fourth quarter of a preseason game, like Malachi Corley. But relax. A lot of what the Jets are going to do this year is an offense you're not going to see in 2 drives in the preseason. Not seeing the tush push. You're not seeing the Fields RPOs. You're not risking them in games that don't count. I would like to see Garrett Wilson get involved and then figure something out there. And I am concerned about the lack of weapons. But even if they looked good last night, right? Let's say instead of the field goal drive on their second drive, it was a touchdown. I still would have these concerns. So nothing changes, in my opinion, from that standpoint. Kyle Clifton's in the house. He just called in, and now he's got this super chat for the people. Mrs. C and I actually contemplated going last night for about 10 minutes since it was a Giants game. Glad we didn't. The things to take away are the offensive line. Corners are good. Wide receiver, D-line depth needs help. D-line depth, specifically at edge, needs help. Why is Jadeveon Clowney not a Jet? I'll continue to say it. Tyler Barron's not pushing Michael Clemens off this team. Michael Clemens stinks. If Tyler Barron can't get on the field over Clemens, what does that tell you? Rashad Weaver, Mr. OTA, Mr. Minicamp, Rashad Weaver, number 99. He's Gastineau. He's done nothing this summer. Nothing. Like people talk about the defensive tackle depth. I think Cowart could be decent, maybe. Right? He's hurt right now. He'll be back. I think Jake Tafili's not going to be Aaron Donald every week, but I think he's competent, maybe. Defensive edge depth, right? Jermaine's coming off an Achilles. McDonald is the only guy that can win one-on-one right now until proven otherwise. Sign Clowney. More calls right now, shall we? Let's go rapid fire. I got a lot of people on the line. Fly by Night is next. What's up, Fly by Night?
Hey, Jake. I think you hit all the good points. Just wanted to really stress out again that we really need to just not go crazy about this. It was a preseason game with, at best, a quarter of the playbook being used, and what you can learn from preseason isn't anything really about the players. It's more about the coaches. You can see what coaches think about things, like you said. You can see also their schemes, how they are designing their offense. And I think Engstrom's proving to me over time more and more that he's at least got a grasp on the way that football offenses nowadays are being run versus what we've seen from. I mean, the best we had was what, Chan Gailey with Fitzpatrick for an offense we've seen in the past 15.
LaFleur did some things that I think that were impressive. I think LaFleur's issues were player relationships as a young coach. I think his schemes were pretty good a lot of times. I mean, you had teams in the playoffs actually copying some of the plays the Jets ran in the regular season that year, if you remember.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I guess it was really the whole package with Gailey because you had at least a guy who could throw the ball, more than 5 yards without trying to throw an interception.
John Morton was good with McCown for what it's worth in 2017.
Yeah, I thought that they were good, but I thought that Morton, if he was given more time, could have probably developed into a better coach. But I just never really thought that he gave me the I don't know, he doesn't give me the same feel that I'm getting right now, which is like I feel like we're actually seeing a modern offense starting to be implemented into this team. It's just we don't have all the pieces to be as dominant as we want to be. But we'll get there. I think we'll get there in time. Like I said in the super chat earlier, just maybe not this year, but we're seeing building blocks. It takes time. And that's all. Thanks, Jake.
Fly by Night, thank you. All right, more calls right now. Let's say hello to Southern Jet. Rich, what do you got for us?
Good morning, Jake.
What's up, Rich?
Yeah, I haven't really been watching. I'm in the middle of this 2-eye cataract surgery protocol thing, and
hey, the show's available in audio form as a podcast. Just type it in on Apple or Spotify, and you can hear the show.
Yeah, I was trying to get to you last time, and I was hitting all the wrong buttons with the audio and everything because I couldn't see. I was just going to compliment you on the cruise idea. That I had mentioned something like that a while back. That's a smart thing to do. And you said it's May 30 something. The draft is when?
Late April.
Right. Now, I don't know when minicamp is. Would there be any chance of getting any of the drafted rookies on there?
We are still working out all the logistics. We're looking to add more players. It's to full transparency. It comes down to how many people actually sign up for the cruise. So for the budget to have more money to bring on more players.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't know, they'd probably be practicing ready for minicamp, but if there's a chance, that'd be pretty cool to get a drafted player.
For sure.
The budget might be less for a 6th-round guy than first-round guy.
That's right.
But I just wanted to say real quick, this is actually the most stress-free season I'm going into in several decades, because you mentioned earlier, and you said it correctly, we're going to be underdogs most games. And I actually, when you're a fan since 1964 of the Jets, you have to find different ways to enjoy football. And one of the ways I actually enjoy rebuilds. And because you can see the weekly improvement, even if you're losing a game and you're the underdog, you can root for your team's improvement because you're going to be rooting for that team down the road. So that's it's kind of like paying it forward. So going into this year, do I hope we do good? Catch lightning in a bottle? Sure. But I'm going to just go into it saying I'm going to look for weekly improvement. As far as Fields goes, you're right. He's got to have something designed around him. You have to have a defense that doesn't allow the defense to scheme him because he can't read defenses. We know that. He's not going to learn to read defenses. Everybody out there, put that to bed. He's not going to learn to read defenses after this many years. He's going to learn to play well in a designed system that'll probably be more for intermediate to short passes. I don't see him getting the longer stuff. But as far as that, that's the way I think we ought to look at this season. Hope that Fields gets a scheme that works for him. The defense plays well so they can't scheme to him. Because if they can scheme to him and confuse him, we're in trouble. And, just have fun, guys. Don't, hope you catch lightning in a bottle. But,
hope they can win a
don't,
lot of tight games and you're not asking the quarterback to throw 30 times. If the Jets can win games where they can hold opponents to under 20, which I think this defense is capable of some weeks, they got a chance, I think, with the running game and Fields' ability to be a big part of that.
Exactly. And a lot of the experts are, and I know it's stupid, but it has some relevancy in the fantasy football world. Fields is ranked number 10. And that's because of the experts are expecting a lot of, running from him and things like that. And I hate to tell you, Brees Hall fans are also expecting him to, steal a lot of touchdowns from Brees. But, so we just hope, you're right. Hope we get the scheme that works. It's key that the defense plays well enough to keep the score down to where a defense can't force Fields' hands the way Belichick used to do to quarterbacks who couldn't read defenses. Because that's not going to happen. It's, what is this, fourth, fifth year? It's not going to happen. That's not his forte. His forte is playing within the system, running, keeping a defense scared, having to waste a spy, having to waste 1/11th of their defense on a spy, which is important. And that's the way we're going to look forward going into the season.
Well said, Rich. Good call. I agree with that. I mean, you can win games with Justin Fields. Pittsburgh was 4-2 with him last year. How did they do that? Elite defense and a running game. Didn't ask him to do a ton. That's what I think the Jets are going to do. Now, where I think it's a little dicey with some of the comments the Jets themselves have made, whether it's Glenn or Muji, we're going to let him play quarterback. Muji said he's going to break out. We think he could do what Sam and Baker did. He referenced that. Let's see, because I have doubts. But I think Fields can be competent. He's 8-4 in his last 12 starts. You can win games with him. I don't think he's the long-term answer. There's a scenario where the Jets did what the Buffalo Bills did when they ended their 17-year playoff drought. They made the playoffs with Tyrod Taylor. They won 9 games, and their front office and their coach recognized the fact that, well, Tyrod is a placeholder and we can win games with him. Are we going to win the big one with him? No. So what they do? They traded up and got Josh Allen. The Jets, I think in a great scenario, are 9-10 win team, sneak into the playoffs. Maybe they still like one of these quarterbacks. There could be 5 guys in round 1 that year. One falls to them. And then that guy sits on the bench going into next year. Fields is the bridge. Right? The Jets have not sat a quarterback they drafted in the first round since Chad Pennington, who was my favorite Jet growing up, right? Had his jersey, first jersey ever had, the Chad jersey. Chad sat. He's sat for 3 years. That's not going to happen in today's NFL unless it's like Jordan Love because Aaron Rodgers is, winning back-to-back MVPs. That won't happen, but Mahomes sat for a year. That could be the future path. But we don't need to talk about this yet. Let's enjoy the season until we're out of it, till it's over. Let's win week 1. Let's beat Aaron Rodgers' ass. That's what I hope happens. Come on now. That's what you want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, right back to your calls shortly here, but I do want to shout out the Badlands season kickoff party because I was asked to MC, to host this event. It's next Saturday. I'm taking the red eye back from Vegas this upcoming week to be there. It's Saturday from 4 to 7, Stout Grand Central. Tickets are available now, but when you buy a ticket, I want the Asmaniacs to be well represented. When you buy a ticket, let me know, and I'm going to give you 5 raffle tickets in our weekly raffle. But the Badlands event, it's from 4 to 7 next week. It's Going to be an awesome time. Joe Caporoso, Connor Rogers, Will Parkinson. Purchase your ticket, badlandstoj.com. Me, Will Pa, the entire Badlands crew, some of the Jet Beat guys are going to be there. I'm emceeing the event. So when you purchase your ticket, if you want to come next week, use code Asman. The event in April was a blast. Here's a short clip from that.
I think a lot of us as Jet fans were like cautiously optimistic because of Glenn, right? But you just know, hey, Woody Johnson's lurking out there, right? So how paramount is it for this new regime to actually get off to a decent start, right? Like, what is the timeline for them to turn it around before we start to worry about Zach Rosenblatt writing another story on Woody meddling and Brick Johnson doing Brick Johnson things? What's the timeline to actually turn it around?
I would like to think they're going to have some patience in year one, and you need to show progress throughout the season. You start slow, finish the season strong. Show that you were headed in the right direction. Woody gave Joe Douglas 3-ish years before he got his son and him started meddling a little bit. They will be more patient with Aaron Glenn because he played here. He was the guy they were targeting from day one of this search. And look, if they go 7-10 this year, but they are competitive and get better as the season progresses, I think you will see patience in Florham Park over the next 2-3 seasons as they work to build something. If it's like Joe Douglas and it gets to game 80, game 90, and you still suck, then you're going to meddle. They're paying Joe Douglas a lot of money. I don't blame Woody Johnson for meddling by year 6. I think they gave him enough time. They'll give Glenn his couple years to get his feet under him. No one wants to see the team go 4-13. They need to hover around 500. They need to be competitive. They need to steal a game or two that they shouldn't. And if they could do that in year one, I think everyone out here will be patient and get it. And I think the people will be at Florham Park.
So check it out. Code Asman. They have an open bar ticket. They have people that you could just buy tickets to just for the actual event and just have a cash bar opportunity there. But I'm looking forward to it. Big fans of the guys over at Badlands. Joe and Connor join me on the radio all the time. Will's a weekly on our show. He'll be a weekly on Mondays again with us for what will be the 5th season in a row. So code Asman. So the Asmaniacs get credit, and I can give you guys raffle tickets if you do choose to join me next Saturday. All right, I want to squeeze in a couple more calls, and then Dylan Tereman will join me, and we'll get his thoughts on the game. Let's say hello right now to Chef Kevin, who's in the house, live from the Cloverleaf Tavern. What's up, Chef?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Jake, thanks for having me on your platform, man. That T Squared event, man, looked good, man. Looked like a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody that went out there. V-Man for winning that. It looked pretty good. I remember meeting V-Man for the first time last year when we had the kickoff over there when we went against the 49ers. V-Man's a good dude.
He was awake. Chef Kev. Yeah. That was the big takeaway from last night. He was awake to be a part of the halftime raffle.
Yeah, man. We could always count on, great times and all that. The game for itself, we ain't got no control over that. We're used to this stuff. So it's kind of what it is, man. Everybody's been saying great stuff, man. Today, just like, we're all really pretty much on the same page when it comes to the game and whatnot. I'm not, going to overreact because it's what it is. I'm not surprised that we did run the ball a lot. I mean, I don't know what people are thinking that Fields just going to throw the ball all over the field. Like, that's not what any of them been saying. Glenn, Tanner, everybody's been saying we're going to run the ball. So that's literally what we saw. The only thing that I was a little disappointed about was seeing those balls go down in the flats. That reminded me of the child that we used to have before, just, not really hitting the target properly. But at this point, I'm not concerned, man. When the season kicks off, we'll be able to see a better offense. We'll be able to see a lot of play action, see Fields move a little bit, boot plays, designs to kind of just scheme other players open with Fields on his feet, throwing it. I do feel good knowing that our special teams with the kicking, that seems like we're going to be okay. Just the one thing on special teams that I was kind of pissed about was seeing how we got flagged with one of the gunners running down and running into the punt returner. I don't know where Beast is at, but Beast needs to hand that dude a pink slip and tell him get the hell up out of here, because that's uncalled for. You got to be aware of your surrounding, knowing what your assignment is. You have to look for that. When they wave like this, stay the hell away, get close just in case if they fumble it where he could be around the ball, but literally running right into dude, like, you don't do that, man. That was still in the first half. I was at the game yesterday. I went with my family. Like, the Giant fans, way different from before, man. They were all respectful, gave us no issues. Jet fans, man, we were definitely out there. Like the energy, like what other people were saying, like, yo, it's true, man. It was dead there. It was a Giants home game. And the stadium, for
Even when
what it
Dart
is,
came in, there wasn't like an energy juice.
I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't like,
Yeah, it's
standing
not the same
ovation.
level of passion, man. The Jet
Nah,
fans a
man.
different breed.
Agreed, man. And my nephew, we had family come. My nephew came and he's yelling out Giants suck. And I was like, whoa, hold on. Let's keep it easy because we ain't all that great either. Let's give it a little bit, and then we'll start, talking our stuff or whatever. But for yesterday, it was no different. Like the third down calls, like with the announcers, like it's not the same, man. And we have less fans at our games and we're louder than the Giant fans. So, for what it's worth, man, Jet fans, we were in the building, man. We did represent. There is some good, man. There is some good to take out of this stuff, man. I'm not gonna sit here and play doom and gloom like, oh man, the season's over, this and that. I'm still standing firm on my 6-win prediction. I haven't wavered at all. I'm still standing firm on that. The pass game, I do believe it will get a little bit better. The run game looked really good. Braylon Allen, like, hey man, every time he gets the ball, he's leaning forward. He's picking up another yard or two when he's getting tackled, man. Like he's gonna be a beast, a problem for us, which is gonna be good. Flex Breeze out into the slot, let him create a little bit, get a one-on-one matchup with the linebackers and all that. We haven't seen everything yet, man. So, just I haven't seen the chat and all, but just for the chat, just make sure, don't get too crazy right now, man. Like there will be some more positive things. Jake, I know you have some other calls. Just one quick story, man. This past Thursday at my youth football practice, my son and I coach him. I coach my nephew. We're a 11U team. Devin Singletary came to the practice and all that, and the president of the team youth football organization, he introduced me to him, knowing I'm a Jets fan and I'm going to be at the game. I introduced myself, talking a little bit to him, and I was talking smack. He was talking smack back or whatever. Mentioned some names on the Jets or whatever, like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and that or whatever. And I clapped back and was like, no, you ain't gonna do nothing. Seeing him score a touchdown on us, I'm like, man, I know I'm gonna see this dude again. He's gonna come back. He's gonna talk some smack to me. It's what it is, man. The rivalry with the Jets and the Giants here in North Jersey. It's all blue, man. It's rare when you see green, man. So, at the end of the day, y'all just be positive. Zaire Barnes, he did have around 4 tackles for what it's worth. I know Bonesy's proud of that. As a JD dude. So, we'll just be positive, guys. All right. On to the next one.
Chef Kev, excellent call as usual. Shout out to Chef Kevin. If you're in Jersey, Caldwell, Jersey, Cloverleaf Tavern, the best spot, man. The best spot. All right. Can we rapid fire through a couple calls? I got Dylan on standby. I want to get his thoughts on the game. Click the like button if you haven't. Jermaine Johnson signed jersey is our raffle prize. I got it right here. If you win, I'll mail it to you today. So enter that raffle. And then if you don't win, get in the weekly raffle tomorrow on the second show. Corbett helmet, Mangold signed jersey, Revis signed jersey. Okay, back to your calls. Rob, the Jet fan who was at the party last night. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Jake. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Rob?
Long time no see.
That's right.
Had a great time with the Asmaniacs. A shout out to obviously Snowball, who I drove in with. He's a great guy. Great guy.
The man. Snowball's a legend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also Bonesy.
The champ.
And also a new shout out to my man Winston. We hung out, we chopped it up, we had some wings, we had some pizza, and you know what? I just wish the game matched the pleasantries of hanging out with the Asmaniacs, because that was great.
Well, thanks again for coming, Rob.
Yes. Now down to business, Jake. I agree with you. Anyone who thinks this offense is going to be better than last year's offense, the right word is laughable.
Well, hold on. I think they can be, like, in totality. I don't think they're going to be as good of a passing attack as they were last year. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying exactly as you are. I think that part's laughable. I think when the year ends, we will definitely 100% be looking for a new quarterback, draft wise. That's what I think. I think it was really silly that they did not play Justin Fields another series or two. I don't get that. I'm in agreement with you. Why only play him barely a quarter and two series if he looked that rusty throwing the ball? They could have only gotten better by playing him a little longer, maybe another quarter. So I'm hoping that the Eagles game, Jake, that he plays at least another quarter because they need to get this timing done, especially with the passes. Because like him and Garrett Wilson were not on the same page. And let's be honest, Jake, if they're running the ball 80, 90% of the times, okay, and Garrett Wilson gets double teamed, how can you see Garrett Wilson getting over 1,000 yards this year? I don't see that happening.
Well, he's done it with worse quarterbacks the first 3 years. So, or not last year at Rodgers, but I mean, his first 2 years, he still went over 1,000 yards with Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, Joe Flacco, Mike White, Chris Strebler. Like I think Garrett will still get his. He's too good.
I hope so because one of his strong suits for Justin Fields is not throwing the ball. It's obviously running RPOs as we discussed. So I kind of see his numbers coming down, Garrett Wilson. I hope I'm wrong. And then you don't really have that number 2 wide receiver there who can, maybe stop the double teams and then, Garrett Wilson gets more of the ball. We have a number 1, and I think we have a lot of 3s on the team, as far as wide receivers. So, but the offensive line looked terrific. That I was really happy with. There was Stone in the Giants' pass rush. So
they ran the ball well. Yeah, there's still positives overall. 100%.
There's positive. The line looks really, really good. I think our secondary, other than that mistake that happened with Cisco and Stiggers, outside of that, Michael Carter looks fantastic. And, people who all said, let's get rid of Sauce. Let's get rid of Sauce. You see how much you need Sauce when he's not out there. Sauce is the ringleader there. With Sauce and the rest of these guys, Jake, our secondary is going to be really good. Really good. I like our secondary.
I agree. Rob, good call, man. Thanks again for coming last night.
My pleasure.
All right, let's do one more, and then we'll say hello to Dylan. Artie's next. What's up, Artie?
Hey, Jake. How you doing? I'll be real quick. I'm kind of curious of what DP thinks about the amount of playing time that they let Justin Fields play. See, that's why I don't personally think he's going to play in the next game. I mean, if they're not going to let him throw 10 to 12 times, which they had no plays for him to throw, that, you know what I mean? Like, why even play him at all? I mean, with the plays, it seemed like to me they were focusing more on the offensive line and the running plays, which I thought they did great. The Giants' defensive line is good, and for the most part, we moved them well. So it almost seems like they're not really putting plays in for him to throw like they are with Martinez and Brady. So why even bother doing it? If they're going to concentrate on improving him through practices and joint practices, then why even play him at all? That's all I got. I just thought it was very bizarre, the amount of plays they let him play, and they took him out after like saying, okay, we're good. And, I even said that in Discord today, not to trying to parrot anybody, but it just baffled me why they took him out when they took him out.
Well, he missed Garrett on that play that could have continued the drive on the slant. So, I mean, look, it's a short sample size. They had a high snap that ruined one of the plays. He got hit on another one that was an incompletion to Brees. I mean, he also just missed some plays too. Like he had 2 drives. I agree. I would have had him play a third series, but I'm not going to go crazy even if he looked good last night. Just like I didn't go crazy last week. So let's see what happens this week. I think they're going to play Friday against the Eagles. I think that's why maybe they only played 2 drives last night. Glenn wants them to play again in the third preseason game before they then have the bye the following week, and then you have game week leading up to September 7th. We still got a lot of time now with one last preseason game.
All right, everybody's got to chillax. Don't worry about it. It was only a preseason game. Have a good day, guys.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, party with Peg and Artie.
You get the fuck out.
Well done. Well done. All right. Comments, questions, super chats. continue to cut the line here. Shout out to Zach Tendler, who joined the raffle for one signed Jermaine Johnson jersey at the end of the show is on the line. Nick writes in, the loudest it got was DeVito coming in at the end. They need to get Arian Smith involved. One bad drop, but look at overall. Get Fields on the run. I think you'll see Fields on the run more in games that count. They're not going to show you everything in 2 drives in the preseason. As far as Arian Smith, some good, some bad. The full Arian Smith experience last night. Guess what, guys? He wasn't a first-round pick. He was a third-round pick. He's hyped and talked about a lot because there was such a loud reaction to that pick being a reach. And even Glenn has kind of fed into it by, being sarcastic with Zach Rosenblatt's question about Arian Smith making plays when Glenn said, the guy that can't catch. Like, we liked it at the time, but that puts more pressure on the kid, right? So there's going to be some good. There's going to be some bad. You got to understand that. Nicholas says, we're not getting Clowney this year because we're tanking. All right. Can we shut up with the tanking? They're not tanking. That's a ridiculous premise that you're talking about here. They're not tanking because they won't sign Jadeveon Clowney. Stop it.
Aaron isn't as committed as a lot of the young guys. He's not going to sit and watch game film all weekend. And I think he's aging faster than other guys.
Enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we will get back to your calls. But joining us right now is a good friend to the show, fellow Jet content creator, and many, I'm sure, want his take on the game. DT, Dylan Tereman, stops by the program. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, Jake? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So what to you is the biggest thing that you took from last night's game, Dylan?
This Justin Fields signed jersey that I won on your show is going straight in the fire pit after I get off with you. That's what I've learned. No, I mean, it's preseason, right? Like we need to stop overreacting. You read out when I first joined backstage, you were talking about that we don't practice if Peyton's not in. Okay, that's all well and good. And then you talked about Zach Wilson's preseason stats where he had 2 touchdowns, no picks, like 80-something% completion percentage. And look what happened, right? So just because we had one majority positive takeaway game versus the Packers and their soft-ass defense, and then we have a game that doesn't go our way against the Giants team that Tuesday and Wednesday in practice, we already heard that it wasn't going well for the Jets. They lost probably both days. Certainly they lost Wednesday's practice. And then it kind of translates into the game, right? Justin Fields, his timing is off again in the drop back passing game. The run game looks really good. The offensive line, the bread and butter of this team looks okay, right? The bones of the offensive play calling looks okay from Tanner Engstrand. I see all the backups that are running with the 2s and the 3s, and I just close my eyes and I picture Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall in those roles, and it feels like there's actual competency in the offense that, again, it's a majority negative game, 100%. Like it's 75 probably, maybe 80% negative out of this game. We ran the ball 10 out of 12 times on a drive that would have resulted in a touchdown if they didn't throw the ball on 3rd and 2. In a real game situation, regular season, they're running the ball on 3rd and 2, Jake, in that red zone. And then if they don't get it, they're running the ball on 4th and whatever it is. Like that's what the Jets are going to do. That's what they've shown us they're going to do. Do I think the team sucks because of last night? No. Do I think that they're going 11-6 like Peter Castro says? No. Fantastically, my expectations was 7 wins entering the preseason, and somehow I'm still at 7 wins for the Jets, right? Everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt. One game at a time is kind of my mentality right now. I'm not going to say we're going to get into the regular season and all of a sudden the offense is going to explode. But there were structured plays when Fields was on offense last night, and I'll go back and do a film review. There were bones of an RPO where they had the 2 running backs. They had Breece and Braylon opposite Fields in the backfield. They motioned one of them in like a bubble motion around the backside of the backfield, and then they ran inside zone to the opposite running back. That is the bones of an RPO. They didn't do it, and they showed a lot of it more with, Adrian Martinez in. They showed more elements of RPO and quick pass game. But against this Giants defensive front, Jake, how do you expect Justin Fields to have 4 seconds to throw it deep? I didn't understand that. Like the Packers soft ass zone, yeah, you have time to throw it, and Fields, he looked a lot better as a passer. So you shorten the play clock internally of Justin Fields, and things get a little off the rails, right? Are we panicking? Is Adrian Martinez quarterback 1? No, absolutely not. This guy still stinks. He threw a lollipop Zach Wilson lazy ass interception that didn't need to be thrown. He was scrambling to his left and he just like could have thrown it out of bounds. He could have dirted the pass, but he threw it right at the defender. So I'm not freaking out, man. I'm not overly optimistic. I don't think the team sucks because we had 2 bad practices against the dominant defensive front, and then it spilled over into the games. Would I have liked to see Justin Fields for one more series? Sure. But also, what's to say that that third series was all of a sudden going to look a lot different? They were running the ball to mitigate the Giants' pass rush. That's what good teams, good offenses do against stout defensive fronts. If you're the Rob Saleh thing, right? It's just in the inverse. We're constantly attacking the passer. We're not caring about our run defense lanes. And look what happens. We get gashed in the run game. That's kind of what the Jets did to the Giants last night with the starters. Their guys were just worried about getting upfield at Justin Fields in the backfield, and we were just running the ball to mitigate it. So it's a chess, not checkers game of football, right? Everything has nuance to it. I'm excited to dive into the film, but I can't sit here and just say scrap the whole season because we had one bad preseason game. A lot of the people saying this were probably very happy last week too. So I don't understand the living and dying with each individual game like it's the last game of our season and it's determining everything that's going to happen in 2025.
Bingo. I mean, if you were excited a week ago after one drive for the starting offense, then you can't give me that you're very concerned a week later when it's only 2 drives for the starting offense. And by the way, they did score on the drive. They scored on their second drive. They kicked the field goal. So
100%.
And they moved people. AVT, I know you haven't done the film review yet. Watch Vera Tucker. I thought he played really well last night. He was moving dudes in the run game.
Yeah, and I heard somebody talk about a bad Breece Hall run early on. Yeah, Breece had one bad run where it looked like he ran into the back of his offensive lineman. It looked like AVT, and I'll go back and discover on the film, AVT pulled and Simpson pulled. And Simpson was pulling right off the left hip of AVT, and he ran into AVT while he was making his block. So John Simpson couldn't get to his assignment. Lo and behold, that defensive player tackled Breece Hall in the hole because Simpson couldn't get there because he ran into AVT. Everybody looks at that and says, Breece Hall has no vision. Breece Hall can't run. Trade him for a 6th-round pick now, please. Elevate Donovan Edwards to, 70% of the snaps. It's like it's very reactionary off one stupid play, and it's not even Breece's fault. But, nuanced conversations about football leave the conversation when losses happen, and I understand that. But we gotta bring it back to a realm of realistic expectations and possibilities for this team. We're not a Super Bowl contender. We know that. We're probably not a playoff contender. We know that. Can we contend to be a competitive 7-10? Yeah, that's probably where the expectation lies right now.
Hopefully better than that, but go in with that as your mentality and you'll be able to understand what the season is. I mean, that's the bottom line. Dylan is a great Jet content creator. He recently started his own channel. He has 737 subscribers. He needs to get to 1,000 so YouTube could start paying him for his awesome Jet takes. So if you're watching live right now or after the fact, in the live chat, I posted Dylan's channel. So make sure you guys go subscribe and support Dylan. He's awesome. He comes on with us every week during the season coming up. He'll be with us. So I'm looking forward to that. This one is from C. It's a super chat here. Come on, guys. It was 2 series in a preseason game with probably the most vanilla offense we'll see all season. We're such a damaged fan base. Amen.
Yeah, there's not many more words you can add to that, especially that last sentence. We are a damaged fan base. Nobody's jumping off the bandwagon, right? My expectations, like I just said, they've stayed the same through 2 preseason games. We're in August, guys. It's not even August 20th. We're not even 2/3 of the way through this month, and people are writing us off. And I was going back and forth with PBM in the comments because he's listing like 6 or 7 positions that are just trash. And I said, okay, maybe the depth at some of those positions are bad, but I don't think this team sucks. I'm not jumping off any bandwagon. Fields is still, our quarterback. It's not going to be Adrian Martinez. There's not enough of a sample size of this offense specifically that gets me excited or worried, right? If anything, I'm worried more about the backups on defense because they play more than the backups on offense. If we're down to our 3rd string left tackle or 3rd string quarterback, it's probably cooked, right? Most teams would be. If we're on our 2nd string, 3rd string safety or backup linebacker or backup defensive interior, I'm way more concerned about the depth on the defense. So I'm not trying to make it a one versus the other, but if I had to pick a concern point, It is the depth on this defense, especially in the front seven. No pass rush juice in the second half. Really, with no Will McDonald, he was nursing the knee injury, and they're just protecting him from himself, essentially. There was no pass rush juice last night. Eric Watts looks totally uninterested in like trying to run the play right. He's just pushing, doing the Javon Kinlaw, getting into the backfield as quickly as he can, and they just run right off his ass to the right side and pick up a couple yards where he would have been, filling in the run. So the defensive front seven is more of a concern, way more of a concern than Justin Fields throwing late to Garrett Wilson or having to like float one up to Breece Hall because Membu got beat on an inside move by Thibodeau. Like those things don't necessarily concern me because we haven't seen the full offense come into play, right? No RPOs, no quick games, no designed runs from Justin Fields. Justin Fields was breaking 40-yard runs in practice against the Giants untouched. And now we just don't see it in the preseason game. They're not going to expose that version of our offense, expose, Justin to those types of injuries. So it's just, it's not a finished product by any means on offense. And I can't put the cart before the horse and say we're picking first overall. We got to go watch Garrett Nussmeier film.
Also, real quick, I confused which Clark is Ryan Clark, the ESPN NFL analyst's son. Jordan Clark is his son, not Dean Clark, who had the really good game last night. So a couple people tweeted me and in the chat corrected me. So I want to make that clear. It is Jordan Clark, not Dean Clark, who I thought Dylan was really good last night for a positive. He was the one that was making the plays, but he's not related to Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I just had Emery Hunt of Football Game Plan on my channel just a couple minutes ago. I know I was telling you, I was like, I don't like overlapping with Jake because I want all of the listeners from your channel to come over to my channel. So I had Emery on for about an hour, and he had a lot of good things to say about both the Clarks, especially Jordan. He was like, he doesn't care about his body. And I think it's funny. He wears number 33, and Jamal Adams never cared about his body on the Jets. And obviously he's dealt with his own injuries and whatnot. But Dean, certainly a stock up after his first game where he missed the tackle that led to a garbage time run touchdown. So yeah, Dean Clark, much, much better in the back end this year. But that just goes like there's depth on the secondary, right? There's no depth at linebacker and defensive end or defensive tackle.
Yeah. How about JBC, by the way? He looked good last night.
Dude, he looked better than Quantez. And the touchdown was not on Quantez, right? That's a Cisco problem. You're running cover 3. You're supposed to pass that off. Cisco is literally the single high post safety. That is his title in most defenses, is a post safety to take away the post route. Bo Collins, he had inside leverage on the cover 3 from Quantez Stiggers, which is fine, but Quantez was supposed to pass it off. There's another guy on the right side of the field in Quantez's zone responsibility, where if he passed off the post and got over to it, that's a good play. Cisco just dropped way too close to the line of scrimmage, almost as if Bo Collins was running like a dig route, in breaking cut from right to left, and he just breaks it off into a post, and now both your defensive backs look cooked. So I liked what I saw from JBC, a little bit better in coverage, a good tackle as well at the goal line. He had a really nice stuff at the goal line. So I like what we see out of these corners, and I hope that you could flip one of these guys for like a day 3 pick, or you start AZ Thomas on the IR and you can keep one of these guys for a couple weeks longer.
We're giving away a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey. I'm going to gift 5 memberships. And if you get a membership from me, not only are you a channel member, but guess what? You're in our raffle coming up at the end of the stream, and tomorrow's raffle for a signed Revis jersey, Mangold jersey, Corbett signed helmet. Now, many are saying, how do I become a member? How do I get a membership? 1, you like the video. That's the thumbs up button down below. 2, you see over there that red subscribe button right near Dylan? That's what you click. You subscribe to the channel. And then 3, you make sure you have in your settings that I want to be eligible to receive a gifted membership. So 5 memberships will be gifted. We are very light on memberships, only 13 so far during the show. So I want to change that. I want to get us to well over 20, maybe 30. So I'm going to gift 5 memberships coming up shortly, give people some time to figure out how to do it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will make it happen. NY in Atlanta, he gifted a membership. Boom. So NY in Atlanta is in our Jermaine Johnson signed jersey for 1. He's in the raffle for 1. Dylan, we'll do some calls with you as well, which I'm excited to chop it up with. But as far as, the running game in particular, I talked to you about AVT. What were your thoughts on that 3rd and 8 play call by Engstrand there with Braylon Allen. I thought that was really heads-up coaching and a coordinator identifying the scenario where the Giants were going to send the house. They were going to blitz on 3rd and long, and he called the perfect play to negate that, and Allen did the rest with his legs.
It's almost funny listening to somebody in the Jets community saying we schemed up a perfect play for their defense, and it worked, right? Because most people, when Nick and I were watching it live, we see 3rd and 8. They come out in shotgun with the running back to Fields' right. I think they had trips left with a nub as a tight end attached to the right side of the line of scrimmage. And then they come out and run it. To your point, they had Abdul Carter lined up over the A or B gap, and you just run it right at him because in his mind, it's 3rd and 8. So I'm thinking pass completely, right? Nobody's thinking about the run game. You're able to get you lose slowly on the offensive line, and you allow Abdul Carter to get into his pass rush lane, which isn't the run lane. Braylon Allen picks the proper lane, and he gets 11 yards out of it. I think it's genius play calling from the offensive coordinator because, like I mentioned at the start, when you have such a formidable pass rush who's going to get there in a second and a half, 2 seconds, or what have you on Justin Fields, you have to mitigate it. And they were softening up that pass rush by running the ball so effectively. You run the ball 10 out of 12 times, defense is keying in on run. And now your linebackers start, pinching in a little bit. Your safeties come down into the box a little bit too tight, and that allows you to get open in the pass game. And they tried it on that 3rd and 2 slant to Garrett Wilson, which I think a little bit better timing, a little bit more accuracy from Fields, and it's a 1st down. You keep the drive moving. But you got to be impressed with the bones of the offense from Tanner Engstrand. And again, the 2nd and 3rd team with Martinez and Cook, they're running concepts that I'm picturing Justin Fields running. And I think that they're actually going to be successful doing it. So it doesn't, again, one game isn't going to ruin it for me. I'm not totally out. I'm not selling. It was still a close game at halftime. Peter Castro keeps putting in the chat. It was 7-6 at half. And we were actually holding our own outside of that deep ball to Bo Collins. The defense was able to get off the field on 3rd down.
With no Jermaine, no
despite
Sauce,
the lack of pass
no Quinnen.
100%. Yeah. Despite the lack of top-end talent, the next 4 or 5 drives for that defense were solid. And AG even said it going into halftime to Otis Livingston of CBS. He's like, we let up 2 plays on defense. And that's really all it was. Everything else was, and keeping it in front of them, not, bending and not breaking. So I can't get too worried over this. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is part of the analysis part that I need to work on as a first-time, individual solo content creator that it's one freaking game. I don't want to curse, but it's one game, man, and it's August. If this was October 19th against the Carolina Panthers and you guys were all in attendance and we saw Justin Fields do this for a 60-game sample size against the Carolina Panthers, yeah, dude, we got to have a discussion, right? We're worried, but it's the preseason against the Giants, and a lot of our starters were not playing, specifically on defense.
2 drives for the starting offense, 2. So if you were excited after 1 last week, don't tell me you're depressed after 2 this week. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I keep going back to.
No. And I think it opens the door for them to play next week against a defense that is more like the Giants than it is the Packers, right? The Packers played soft-ass zone, a lot of single high. They just gave them whatever they wanted underneath to the Jets. The Giants didn't really do that, and they were doubling Garrett Wilson as well. I think it's hilarious doubling a wide receiver in preseason, but that's what they were doing. And I think the Eagles are going to be a good test as well, but I do think there's going to be more of in between the Giants and Packers in terms of offensive success against these defenses. And it comes down to Engstrand finding that right path to mitigate what the Eagles do well on defense.
Finding the right path, huh? Well, let me tell you about ZipRecruiter, Dylan, because finding the right person to hire can feel impossible sometimes. You get flooded with resumes, but few have the exact skills or experience you're looking for. Not with ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes it easy to discover incredible candidates fast. And right now you could try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter's smart technology works for you the moment you post a job. Their matching system instantly begins showing you qualified candidates so you're not wasting time sifting through the wrong resumes. And when you find people you like, you can connect right away using ZipRecruiter's ready to send invite to apply message. It's a quick way to personally reach out and encourage them to apply sooner. Ditch the other hiring sites. Let ZipRecruiter help you find that needle in the haystack, that Asmaniac candidate in the haystack. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Dylan, you set me up perfectly for that live read. So thank you, sir.
It's almost like we've been doing podcasts now for the last couple of months, and I can feel when you're itching to do an ad read. So I got you.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, in 10 seconds, I'm gifting 5 memberships. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 people are channel members now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm paying it forward to my own channel. Percy, Goody, M. Thorne, Avelis, Cigar Gangster, all receiving gifted memberships from yours truly and entered in both our weekly raffle tomorrow and our daily raffle at the end of the show. Chance to win a signed JJ jersey, who hopefully will be close to himself week 1, because Dylan, you brought up something earlier I highlighted. Outside of Will McDonald, there is not a single edge rusher on this team I feel very good about.
No, my overarching big theme takeaway, and if you've been listening to the last 20 minutes, I'm not concerned about the offense, guys. Like, I'm just not. Like, I will tell you when I'm concerned about the offense struggling. I'm concerned about this defense right now. They have more talent, yes, than the offense on paper. Sauce, Quinnen, Quincy, all these guys, Michael Carter II, Sherwood. Obviously, they're better talent. But when they're not on the field, it is very scary hours. I don't want to see Tyler Barron and Rashad Weaver, who's now nursing a hamstring injury. I don't want to see Eric Watts. I don't want to see these guys on the defensive line rotation. I still think we need to go sign a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. My guy would be Zadarius Smith, a little bit older. So, maybe he doesn't give you as much of an upside as Jadeveon Clowney, but familiarity with the scheme, they know what he is and what he isn't. They would put him in the best positions to win right away, in my opinion. And until Will McDonald and Jermaine Johnson are on the field doing what we know they can do, this is going to be a concern point for me, is the edge rush depth and the pass rush overall without our starters in the game.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Dylan Tereman is joining us here. Hold on. StreamYard's acting up. Dylan Tereman is with us. He is joining us here. And ladies and gentlemen, a guy on the line right now has point after point after point that I'm sure he wants to make. So stop what you're doing, buckle up, and get ready for the Neil Show.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Jake, my brother. Jake, my brother.
Neil, how we doing?
Dylan T.
What's up, Neil? How are we?
I'm fine. Look, preseason, I'm not going to get emotional anymore over a win or a loss in the preseason. Let's face it. Before yesterday, we won our last 5 preseason games. What the hell did that do for us? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I mean, good teams don't win in the preseason. Really, really good teams, all they do is evaluate talent. I think honestly, Aaron Glenn was pissed off. He gets mad at when people aren't doing the fundamentals. In other words, he's not looking at winning the game. He's not looking at the score. He's looking at individuals and what they're doing right and wrong. And he's trying to evaluate, how we could cut down on stupid things. And the 2 stupid things that stuck out yesterday were obviously a lot of penalties still. And our defense was like a sieve. That, you want more pass rush, Dylan. I still think we need some more up the middle help, because I don't really see anything beyond Quentin Williams that is going to stop anybody up the middle. I mean, they were pushing us around up the middle, didn't you think? A little bit.
Well, the Giants,
they got
Giants
500 yards of offense. That's not nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, but there was 398 passing, Neil. They ran the ball 21 times for 80 yards. So in my opinion, I think on the surface it was better. It was just the screen game that was killing them, and then that deep shot to Bo Collins, which was ridiculous. Jackson Dart shouldn't go 14 of 16 if you have a pass rush. So that's my concern.
This is my worry. Not say it's a worry. This is what we're going to be seeing more of. Our defense is going to take more chances this year because Wilkes likes to blitz. Wilkes is going to have guys in press coverage. And when you deal with that and you have a lesser talent on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to get burnt deep a lot. And that happened a lot yesterday. And when you're overly aggressive on the pass rush, you set yourself up for these screens, and they just did everything right, and they had a tempo. That's the other thing. The Giants had a really nice tempo against us, and we really just couldn't recover. But
well, think about this too, Neil. The Giants are in a preseason game where Jameis Winston's playing in the fourth quarter. The guy was the first pick in the draft. Like, he's super talented. He should carve up guys that aren't going to be on NFL rosters in 2 weeks, right? So, like, part of the advantage the Giants have is Jameis is their third string, and DeVito's won games in the league, and they're bringing him in the fourth quarter as their number 4 quarterback.
Even DeVito looks better than Cook and Martinez. I mean,
and he should. Tommy DeVito's won games in the NFL before. He's not terrible.
Somebody said Buffalo Jet fan. A guy was on Buffalo Jet fan last night. I caught a little bit. Made a very good point. You think it might be a good idea for us to trade for Jameis Winston to have a little cushion on, as a number 3, maybe? What do you think about that?
Well, if Tyrod was seriously hurt, I think that would be an option I'd be advocating for. When Fields, we thought, might have, suffered his catastrophic injury on day 2 of training camp, I was saying Jameis is the guy I'd bring in immediately. But I don't think that they're going to make that type of move, Neil, because I do think they believe Tyrod will be healthy for the regular season.
You think the Giants are going to be willing to expend Winston? I think they are, because Dart looks really good.
Maybe. I don't know if the Jets would give up like a real pick for Winston. A team that maybe needs a better backup maybe would.
Yeah. And it's a tough situation if you're the Giants too, right? Like you're Dayball and you're Shane, and you were just on one of the hottest seats entering the offseason, and you needed to turn around your quarterback position, or the whole room really. And they go out and they get Jackson Dart. They sign Wilson and Winston. But do you want to be one injury away from your rookie quarterback coming in and not potentially playing as well as he did in the preseason, right? Guys play well in the preseason all the time. Connor Rogers on his show last night said the preseason is such a lie. And it really is. Like, we think so much of these players a lot of times out of preseason expectations. And then they get into the regular season and they're ass, like just truly ass. Like Dylan Gabriel might not be great. Shadur Sanders might not be great. These rookie quarterbacks might not be great when they need to play. So do the Giants want to put themselves in a situation where Jackson Dart is thrust into the starting job, doesn't look good, and then Dayball looks like a bad coach because he didn't handle the situation in the quarterback room well enough by keeping Jameis as that security blanket and that little buffer between seeing your rookie? So I would think that the Giants right now are hoping as best they can that Jackson Dart gets a redshirt year, and he only has to come in like a dire need situation because Paul is also coaching for his job at the same time.
What about DeVito? I guess they're going to have to cut. They're not going to go with 4 quarterbacks. So I guess DeVito is going to be available. Best guess. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, DeVito, I think, is probably going to be released. And if he is released, if the Jets brought him in, I don't hate that.
I think somebody's going to take a shot on him. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's won some games in the NFL before, which is a lot better than most 3rd or 4th string quarterbacks you'll find. Most haven't.
Yeah. He's a guy that how old is he? I think he's a kid that might still have a potential of being a good quarterback.
Yeah, there's a chance. I don't know how old he is. I think he's younger than 25, 26, but I don't know. I just go back to that Jets game against the Giants where they didn't ask him to throw one single pass further than 5 yards.
He's 27.
Okay, he's 27.
Right, so he's still got a potential of he's got good arm strength. He moves around. He had that he had Giant fans loving him, early on, and he was like Jeremy Lin when he came to the Knicks. Yeah, he was Linsanity. He was like everybody was into the DeVito thing. So
yeah, everybody was going crazy for Tommy Cutlets.
Right. The Cutlets thing. I think I think he could stick with a team, and I don't
I
think we've
honestly
seen the
would take
best of him.
Martinez over Tommy DeVito right now. He's had time in the offense. He looks the part outside of that really lazy Zach Wilson-esque interception on the left-hand side there. I think Martinez runs the offense to a degree that's, quarterback 3 expectation.
Hey, Neil, how are the pistachios?
Delicious.
You like the nuts?
I'm in there. If it's not a cigar, I have a quick thing to say. I have a friend of mine coming over.
Oh God.
We worked in the business together, in the brokerage business together. He's a Brooklyn-born guy, really, really a crazy guy, and he smokes tons of pot and tons of cigars and drinks. He's got 3 really bad vices, and when I say a lot, I mean he is like a 4 joint a day guy, 5 cigars a day, half a bottle of booze. So he got some unfortunate news. He's about my age. He's about 64. He calls me up and he goes, Neil, I got news from the doctor. I have a cyst on my aorta and it's growing. So I have to stop smoking, drinking, and smoking pot and drinking and smoking cigars. I have to stop everything. He goes, my date is August 19th, is Tuesday. So he goes, I want to spend my one last day. He knows I have a lot of Cuban cigars. And stuff. He goes, I'm going to spend my last day smoking, drinking, and everything else with you. Isn't that nice honor? And so he's coming here today, and we're going to smoke some cigars, have some drinks, and have a nice day. And then he has to quit all 3. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, man. That sucks. If I had to quit cigars and it was a matter of life and death, I mean, cigars is like his 3rd favorite vice.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to smoke, he likes to do the marijuana. And I mean, when I say do it, I mean, he's like an ounce a week guy and he smokes this like $5,000 an ounce Hawaiian stuff. If you take 2 puffs of it, you would float into the air. It's so, I'm saying he smokes real stuff. Not
Neil,
like,
would you sacrifice smoking cigars for a Jets Super Bowl?
Holy shit.
Rest of your life, you could never smoke another cigar, but the Jets will win a Super Bowl in your lifetime.
Listen, if you said this year, yes, or next year, or the year after.
So that you can go back to smoking?
It has to be, Jake, it has to be where I'm at least lucid enough to remember the Super Bowl because my mind is half shot as it is. Or I have to be able to walk into a stadium without a walker. You know what I'm trying to say?
Within the next 10 years.
And have fun.
10 years.
And,
you don't know
enjoy
when.
It only has to happen in the next 3 or 4 years. If you're telling me my lifetime and I'm 80 on a ventilator, how excited am I going to be if they win a Super Bowl?
All right,
Yeah,
Super Bowl guaranteed. Yeah, within 5 years, Neil, but then you can never smoke cigars again.
Yes, I would quit cigars. No doubt.
I'll be honest. I'm sort of like your friend. 33% of your friend and I have that similar demon. I'll let you pick between drinking, cigars, and marijuana, which one my vice is. I'm not giving it up for a Super Bowl in the next 5 years. I'll be honest. I'm not.
Wow, Dylan, I'm shocked.
No shot.
I would. You know why, Dylan? Because you're still young.
Yes, exactly.
Guys like me, Peter, Beningo, we're getting up there, dude. We have not many chances here.
Right.
That's why, that's why we were so overly, pissed at the Rodgers thing, because regardless of whether or not he would do anything for us or not, it's the thought of maybe we had a shot, and that's, when you let go of that, and now we're talking about you guys getting excited about being a 7 or 8 win season. When I hear that, I want to throw up in my mouth.
I don't
want to hear about winning 7 or 8. To me, it's all or nothing. I don't want to win.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Like, gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Look, maybe they overachieved, Deal. Maybe they will.
He's justifying the time period. You went 10 years. He's like, no, it's got to be 3 or 4, preferably 1 year, so I could go back to smoking my cigars in 2026. We all know we would give up our vice for the Jets to win. But then at the Super Bowl parade, we're all right back in our vices celebrating the Jets Super Bowl win. So it's very hard to say. I'm not giving it up. I'm 30 years old, dude. I still have like 35, 40 plus years left in my life. I'm not I'm not giving up the stuff I enjoy just to see a potential of one Jets Super Bowl season. They should be able to accomplish that without my addictions serving a purpose.
Amazing. Big Country checks in with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 2. Make sure you gift a membership to enter. We got our weekly raffle tomorrow. We got a signed JJ jersey available at the end of the stream for one lucky ass maniac. Made a stupid bet with my buddy who's a Giants fan yesterday. Now I got to wear one of his Giants hats next time we're hanging out. He had to wear a Jets jersey last year. LOL. In preseason, who cares?
Yeah, why'd you make that bet, bro?
I mean, look, wearing a Giant hat for a day, whatever. But preseason, the game means nothing. It was 7-6 at halftime.
Yeah, now you have a consequence in the regular season that just lingers because of a meaningless game. And to Peter Castro's point, he said 7-6 at halftime. So realistically, if the starters played the whole game, it probably wouldn't have been a 31-12 final.
I doubt it would have been. Duncan with a super chat. He says Seahawks dropped a 33 spot in Kansas City, who scored 16. Do you think their fans are thinking 5 wins after that preseason game? I would imagine if you won the Super Bowl 3 times over 5 years and you have the best quarterback in the world, you're not worried when he doesn't play in a preseason game that you lost.
Did you notice that the Eagles didn't even play Tanner McKee, their quarterback 2 behind Justin Fields? They bubble wrapped their backup quarterback. Like, good teams that win the Super Bowl don't give a shit about the month of August. So bad teams and bad teams fan bases like the Jets shouldn't care about an August game this much. But we're passionate, so of course we're going to, we're going to live and die by this team every single day, Jake. And we're starting to see the early returns on that one.
That's what we do around here. We live and we die.
These nuts.
Mike D's Nuts writes in, gave up drinking 4 months ago. Watching these games sober might be rough.
Oh, we're going to get Mike back drinking again. This is the team that'll do it. Absolutely. But good for you for quitting, man. That's awesome.
Unreal. All right, more of your calls right now. I know what we need after a Jet Giant game last night. We need to check in with a man who knows about both teams as well as anyone that regularly calls into the show. Folks, all aboard the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Hi, I'm Jake Asman. Hello, I'm Dylan. Tereman.
Lane, how are you?
Hi, Lane.
I'll talk about the Jets. So I watched the Jets game last night, and you have Elijah Moore, you have Taylor Johnson, and you have Mason Taylor, and you have Aaron Glenn as the coach. How do you feel about the way the game started in the first half?
It was up and down, Lane. I didn't see Taylor Johnson out there, though. Who's Taylor Johnson?
Taylor Johnson? You mean Taylor Mason, rather, not Taylor Johnson.
Taylor Mason.
Jeremy,
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, Jermaine wasn't out there.
Second.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore's looked pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Well, but I don't get it. That was a big scoring game. The Giants scored a lot of goals and touchdowns.
Yeah, they scored a lot of runs. They had a bunch of dunks.
Yeah, but I did not see Dexter Jason in the game. What happened? Was he not allowed to play? Or was
he was on the bench with Knoble.
Yeah, Dexter Jason and Elijah Moores and Taylor Johnson, they all sat.
And I'm happy to say that Mom finally came home. The reason why I haven't called was because she was crawling on her legs, and nice people helped her downstairs, our neighbors, and she was just throwing up earlier all over. So
wow.
That's why I haven't called up. I guess because family comes first. So I just had a burger, but it wasn't good in the hospital.
Well, a couple things, Lane. One, tell your mom that we're all hoping that she's okay. And 2, I'm sorry that your burger that you had at the hospital wasn't very good.
Yeah. Oh, so getting back, I'm thinking about getting a Justin Fields jersey. Not a jersey, a T-shirt, or Mason Taylor.
I think the Mason Taylor one might be around for the long haul. So I would recommend that.
Yeah, but why do you think I shouldn't get a Sauce Gardner shirt or a And the other player also, like number 5.
Garrett Wilson. I think you should go Garrett Wilson or Sauce, then Mason Taylor, then Justin Fields.
Is it
Absolutely agree.
because they're better than getting number 81 on the Jets?
Yeah, number 81 is dollar
Pokey
store
Wilson?
Garrett Wilson. Yep.
Pokey Wilson. I mean, we know somebody who has one. Ricky New York. Shout out to him.
He
got
has a Pokey Wilson jersey.
He got all. He got AZ. He got Pokey. He got Lewis, Tua Philly, the 5th string running back. He got all a Derek Nottie jersey as well. He got all the.
Oh wait,
Florida State
how about
guys.
the Derek Naughty T-shirt? I'm thinking about getting that one then.
No,
I would not do
Derek
that.
Nottie. I don't think he's going to make the team, to be honest, Lane.
Then why would I get a cert if he's not going to make the team? I'll probably just get a First Gardner cert. No, wait a minute.
That's the safe
Or how about they should sell Lane Train jerseys? How about that? The Lane Train.
Oh,
I'd buy one.
Turner jersey. I'd buy one right away.
Yeah, they should make number 1 of Lane Train T-shirts, and then put them in like online for different sizes, like for kids and stuff.
Could you imagine kids wearing a Lane Kerner jersey, Jake? That'd be
funny.
That'd be awesome.
And they can make it in a green, a white, and a black one.
What about purple?
I was gonna say, don't the Jets wear purple this year?
And the alternative one too. The purple jersey they have now. Wow. Yeah, they can make a purple one also, but I don't know how they're gonna look on them. They'll probably be good.
Lane, are you ready for week 1?
Well, yeah. I mean, we play. I just hope we beat Aaron Rodgers in week 1, because honestly, if we don't win, we're probably going to be. I'm predicting we'll start off the year 0-1.
I would agree. Dylan, would you say it's not a hot take
Or
to
1-0.
think that if the Jets lose week 1, they'd be 0-1, but if they win week 1, they'd be 1-0?
No, that's not too hot of a take. You're not going to see that, make its rounds on freezing cold takes on Twitter or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely want to start the season hot, right, Lane? You want to start 1-0 and not 0-1. But both teams start 0-0, and that's the best part about it, right?
Now that is a hot take. Damn.
Who was that? Oh, that was Rookie New York turning into a skeleton.
He lit himself on fire.
What is he? Neil? Oh, I like. Yeah. Oh, just to tell you, I had some cherries earlier.
Really?
I was like waiting.
How were the cherries?
Good. I got them from the Trader Joe's, actually, where Dad works.
Very
in
nice.
Hewlett.
You're a
They
company
have
man,
a lot
Lane.
of good food there now. Like a lot of, different food that came in.
Well,
They
it sounds
have
like you're having a great
strawberry-
day, Lane.
Yeah, and they also have strawberry ice cream too.
Nice.
That's new. Okay,
Well-
so thank you for taking my call. I know you have other callers waiting online.
You got it,
Yeah,
Lane.
you
Hey,
too.
send your best to your mom for all of us, okay? And have a great day.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye. Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Lane dropping some real takes, man. Some real takes there, Dylan.
I always learn so much about the New York Jets when our friend Lane calls in.
The GOAT. Trig Check says, hey, Lane, is Denzel Mims wide receiver 1? Mike D's Nuts says, Lane go by Giants gear. Who was Lane rooting for last night, the Jets or the Giants?
Rick Kent asked that in the chat, and I was very interested to see if he would let us know, but Lane, he doesn't tell.
He didn't tip his
Close to
hand
the
one way or
vest.
the other.
No.
More calls
Got a
right now.
poker face.
Dylan, if you got to run at any point, you let me know. I'm
Let's
just going
take
to stay on.
let's take one or two more calls, and then I'll get out of here. I'm starting to get hungry. I need
All
some
right.
breakfast.
I love it. I'm staying on for everyone who's on the line here. Extended post-game show because I didn't go live last night after the watch party. Ladies and gentlemen, time to head to a nudist colony down south.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets Rube, cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
What's up, fellers? How's it going?
Rube.
Not too bad. Jake, I wanted to thank you. I booked my Riverwalk Hotel, and it was saved $100 a night for your deal. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Love it. See you in Tampa, Rube. Can't wait.
Yes, sir. Just waiting on Tampa Bay Jets to get back to me for my tickets, but excited about that game. You guys already kind of talked about the defense. Outside of a backup cornerback and a new safety getting confused on one play, the Giants really didn't do much. I'm kind of looking at this offense a different way. Dylan, how many series would you say an offense typically has in your average game? 8 to 10?
So yeah, doing the play charting of the offense since Zach Wilson's rookie year, it's lower than average because we're the Jets and our offense has been so stagnant. But yeah, anywhere from 10 to 12, sometimes 13 drives is about right. Last week we had 10 and this week we had 11.
Let's say 10. Okay. The starters in 3 drives so far have scored 10 points. That's 3.3 points a drive. Times that times 10, that's 33. I'm not saying that's what we're going to score, but even if you say that by like 8 drives, that's still like 27 points a game. I think any Jets fan thinks that we can have a good year and be real competitive if we can get 24 or more points a game. I'm not even sure if we averaged that last year with Aaron Rodgers, but pre-Aaron Rodgers, I don't even think we averaged 20 points a game.
Not even close.
So I think a lot of people are kind of maybe going a little overboard with this, coupled with the fact that Engstrand ain't showing shit on offense. I'm sorry, but I believe most of Justin Fields' throws are going to be a moved pocket or him out on the roll. I think they're just trying to get these pocket passes in to try to make them better. But when the regular season hits, I don't really see him throwing a lot from the pocket. That's not his game. And boy, I'm super encouraged with the running game. With the Giants, all the talk about their D-line, that second drive, we just jammed it down their throat. Would I have liked to see our second and third team, especially the third team that most of them aren't going to be on the team, would I have liked to see them play better? Yes. But considering we had 4 of our best defensive starters out and, we scored 10 points on 3 drives with our offense, I'm still feeling pretty good. Maybe I'm a homer. I don't know, but I don't think it's dire straits here at all.
No, I think you brought up a good point too about the offense specifically with Fields. If they're having success running the ball, especially between the tackles, even the outside zone stuff where they're able to cut it up, and then you go into a play action bootleg, and we saw the keeper work to Mason Taylor. We saw the keeper the week prior where Tyler Johnson was on a delay route and Fields ended up scrambling it for a yard. I think that's going to be a lot more of what our offense is, right? Getting Fields outside of the tackle box, changing the launch point of his throws. And I think that's where we're going to have way more success than just standing back there almost statuesque in the pocket until he absolutely has to break down and run. So I think it's a good point. And then he breaks down the 3.3 yards per drive. Obviously, that's, showing consistency over a 17-game season, but we haven't come close to even 20 points a game, Jake. So the whole race to 20 under Saleh, there's a reason for that. We couldn't score 20 points. If we show an ability to consistently score 20 to 24 points a game, I'm not saying we will, but if we could show that, then yeah, we're absolutely going to have a lot more success this season moving forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, one last call for Dylan. Dylan, you called this guy out by name earlier, so we will give him a chance to respond, and then I'll stay on for the remaining calls, plus our signed Jermaine Johnson jersey raffle at the end of the stream.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Yo.
PBM.
So this is why I said, I'll let you respond, Dylan. This is why I said we suck. Because 7 and 10 is what you believe that sucks. And looking at our development with our players, if we have one person go down, like you said, on depth, then we're done. So I'm hoping for the best, but realistically speaking, yeah, we're gonna go 7 and 10. We're gonna pick top 10, maybe top 13, and it's gonna be another lost season if that's the case. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that's not the case. But if we are 7 and 10, that sucks, and that means
Well,
that we
okay.
suck.
I think we're looking at it through two different lenses, right? I'm looking at it from my expectation being a 7-win season. So that seems on par with that. I think you're looking at it with the expectation of breaking the playoff drought, competing in the AFC, having a wild card at worst appearance. And if that's
I just
the
want
case,
meaningful games in December.
of course, so do I. But we could be 7-10 and have that, right? I don't think.
Well,
I
it could
don't
be
know. I
like
just don't see
we
it
were
being a
seven
playoff
and
team.
three or we were 7-3 or 7-4, and then collapsed and became 7-10.
No, okay, so that's different. I don't think
Like,
it's going to be that. I think it's going to be
I
we're
hope not.
4-5. We're 4-5, maybe 5-6, and we lose 3 of our last 4, and then we go 7-10. Right? I don't think we're going to start hot and then completely collapse. Right? I think 7-10, but maybe you even do the inverse and you're 3-6, and then you win 4, or you go 4-4 down the back stretch and you're 7-10. I don't think it's going to be the 7-10s that we've seen with Saleh and Zach Wilson, but I do think like I'm looking at it from a 7-win lens, and you might be looking at it from like I want this team to make the playoffs lens, and I'm just not there.
I can't do it again, man. Oh,
Nobody wants
I
to
hope-
do it, Mike.
I
Nobody
think
wants to do it.
That's why this first game really will set the tone and means a lot. Like, it's really not just like, I really think this first game is going to determine the season. And if we lose close, that's okay. But if we get blown out, it's going to be a long, long year. So
Yeah, I'll say two things
This
real
first
quick.
game is going to determine a lot.
100%. Two things real quick, schedule-wise. Buffalo twice, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. Let's just chalk those up. 0-4. The Jets have no chance. We're going to come on here pissed as shit and yell at Jake Asman for our Jets' woes, right? And we're 0-4 there. That's 13 games remaining in your schedule. Can you go 6-7 or 7-6? And you're still at that, threshold of where I think the team is. I don't see it as, this team is going to be competing for deep playoff runs. So I guess it's really just what your expectation is looking through the lens of. But we all want the playoff drought to end, Mike. We all do.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to be this year. But it's also a discovery year, right, for AG and the coaching staff, right? That's my second point. I work in construction. I do flooring. We get to a house, right? You have your old flooring down, whether it's carpet or hardwood. Your subfloor underneath is supporting that flooring. When we take up your old floor, what does it look like underneath, right? That's what we're going to find out in September and October of this roster. AG has already started doing that demolition work of taking up the old flooring, but you could discover a bad joist underneath the floor or a rotten floorboard, and all of a sudden your subfloor is not good. The structures of your roster are not good. This is a huge discovery year for this team and this coaching staff in general. So I'm looking at what do they show us all season long, where 2026, Mike, my expectation is probably going to be where you're at now. Go 9+ wins. Please compete with the Bills in the AFC East, because we've discovered all the deficiencies of our roster, despite probably not having the quarterback in place that's going to lead this team. So from those two angles and perspectives, I feel like it's just more of a wait and see and learn what we have, rather than, okay, now let's go and perform at our highest level.
Tell us about your floors, PBM.
You can see from here. So this room's not done. That's the old. And then where the gray is where I got it done.
See?
Oh, you just got like an epoxy basement floor there? Is that what that looks like, that gray?
No, that's actually hardwood floor, but stained gray.
Oh, hell yeah. That was
See,
nice.
it takes time. We're building the foundation this
I
year,
didn't
Mike.
do this room yet or my
You're the
bedroom yet.
2025 Jets.
Yeah, but other teams have done it, so why not us?
Well, that's the hope. But if you want to
You know
be
what I'm saying?
realistic, Justin Fields is on his third team in 3 years. You play in the AFC. And typically, teams that make the playoffs get above average quarterback play, which Fields in his career has never been above average.
And that's
a lot
why
of
to
times
respond
these
to
teams
Nate.
are finding the quarterback too, like Jaden Daniels, right? You pop out with Jaden Daniels, and all of a sudden you're way exceeding expectations because you have the main guy as your nucleus in the quarterback.
But Baker Mayfield, Goff, like we can go through the whole list of other people that were able to resurrect their careers with different coaches.
So are you officially saying Fields cannot be Darnold, Geno, Baker, Goff?
No, I think it's possible. I just am not convinced based on what I've seen him throw. I'm just not convinced on that.
I'll continue pushing back. All 4 of those quarterbacks on August 17th of that season where they broke out, I don't think anybody was saying it either about them. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
looks different. I agree. The passing didn't look great. Off timing, bad passes in terms of accuracy. But I'm sure all those quarterbacks went through the same thing in their August of their breakout year as well. So it's it's managing expectations, I feel like. And for Fields, the expectations are either down way low here or like way up here. It's really hard to find like a even keel expectation for Justin Fields.
And to respond to Nate, yes, the first game will determine, because it's not the end-all break-all statistically, but putting us up against a team that is a perennial 9-win wildcard team, if we get blown out by 30, we have no hope of making the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. If we lose by 30 to the Steelers, then we have no hope.
What about 29?
Yeah, if we get blown out by 29 also. Yeah, if we
Okay.
lose by 3,
49ers
we lose by
game.
7, then it's not the end of the world. But if we're losing by 25 point, like, I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? If we're losing by 3 touchdowns, like, come on, we have to be real about football. If we're gonna lose to a wild card team by 3 touchdowns or more, then we're not a playoff team.
How was your
That's the way it is.
anniversary?
Anniversary was great.
You had a
Yes.
good dinner?
I did. It was very
And
good.
how did you watch the game? You TiVo'd it? DVR'd it?
No, I came home. I started from the second quarter, and then at halftime, I watched the stupid 80-yard play, and then I watched the Jets drives, and then I watched the third quarter.
You had a great day yesterday. You had a visitor from Snowball. I mean, he saw your
did.
green pool. I mean, it's all not so bad, Mike. Relax. You'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay if the Jets don't kill me. Let's try that. I
Ladies and
sacrificed
gentlemen.
my ACL for you guys. Come on, what the fuck?
Show this
There
man
he
some
goes.
love. Come on.
Yeah,
Purple
don't do it
belt
for nothing.
Mike. Oh, what a
call,
show.
Mike.
Dylan,
That was a good
thanks for the cameo, man. More than a cameo. Tell everyone about your channel. I know you just had Emery Hunt on. We're going to get you to 1,000 subs soon, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, Jake. Love hopping on, giving my thoughts. The reactions are definitely my work in progress point, because I like to be argumentative and push back like we just saw with PBM, but I like doing it in a healthy debate. You know, I don't want to just, point fingers and tell everybody they're incompetent because we disagree, right? Mike and I were able to disagree, and we were able to, have a good talk about it. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, at Dylan Tereman on YouTube, I'm going live about 2 to 3 times a week at this point. I'm doing film dives, recaps of all the Jets practices. I think this episode with Emery Hunt that I just did, Jake, is going to put me over the 3,000 watch hours. So we're at that first threshold where we can do memberships and super chats. Hopefully my next live show this week will feature all those things from YouTube. And we're going to keep going and get on that road to 1,000. Where you said I'm at like 740 almost now. So really excited. Every time I come on with you, I usually jump up about 10 subscribers. So that's awesome. And I really appreciate your support. This chat is A1 since day one. So they know how I feel about them. They're truly the best community in any facet on YouTube.
Beats custom kicks. Dylan, by far, one of the best guests on the show. He makes great logical takes and breakdowns that are spot on. There you go. Strong
Yeah,
praise.
Man. I'm going to have to hit you up too, because I definitely want a pair of those kicks, man. Those things are so awesome. So I will definitely be getting in touch with you once I get a couple YouTube dollars in, and I will be getting those custom kicks as well. So I appreciate everybody.
Love it. Dylan, you're the man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
DT, checking in. I want to stay on for the rest of the calls. We got a super chat from David Atkins. Preseason, see Kyle Clifton comments. Everyone take a breath. I agree, David. And congrats to David, who won a signed, or I think he won a Fields jersey. I forget what it was. He won something. He won a signed Joe Namath jersey like 2 weeks ago. And then I think he won a Justin Fields jersey on the show the other day. We do a prize basically every show at this rate, so I can't even keep track. All right, a bunch of you are still on hold. We'll get to your calls coming up shortly. I'm going to Vegas this week. I'll be at Circa Las Vegas, broadcasting our show from Circa's annual contest weekend ahead of their pro football betting contest for the football season, the Circa Million, the Circa Survivor. You could sign up for both contests starting this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in Vegas and be a part of what should be an epic betting season.
Circa Million and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million. Pick 5 games against the spread each week. 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circus Survivor, one pick a week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circusports.com for details.
See you guys in Vegas. Sign up for either of the contests, and next time you book a trip to Vegas, stay at Circa. I mean, it's the largest indoor and outdoor sports book. I call it Sports Heaven. The restaurants are incredible. Great atmosphere. Blackjack tables, craps tables. I mean, need I say more about the sports books? Come on now. Shout out to Derek and Mike Palm. They'll both be on the show this upcoming week talking about the football season coming up. We'll be broadcasting our show from various locations inside Circa and outside Circa, including Stadium Swim. So the shows this week starting Wednesday will be a lot of fun. Some great guests are scheduled to join me. So be on the lookout. I'll update the start times for shows in the Discord because I'm on West Coast time. The timing will be a little different when I'm out there, especially because Friday night, for me, the Jets are playing, right? But for me, it's 4:30. So 4:30 for me, Jets play. I'm going to do a postgame show, then hustle to the airport because I'm taking a red eye because I agreed to MC the Badlands kickoff party Saturday afternoon. So this week for me is going to be nuts, but I'm excited to head to Vegas and be out there with Circa once again. All right, more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, is he a Jet or a Giant fan? Many have wondered. Many want to know who he was rooting for last night. Ladies and gentlemen, time to say hello to our good friend in Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. I was cheering for the Jets. Have my Jets hat on. But I did like how the Giants played. They played very good. I think the pass to the guy from Notre Dame is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Mo Collins. Yeah, I like Mo Collins from Notre Dame.
Bo Collins?
What?
Bo Collins?
Yeah, that's what Bo Collins. Yeah, that's. I like Notre Dame. That's why I enjoyed that pass. Plus, Stickers had an interception. Don't forget, Stickers intercepted the pass.
That's right. Nate was very happy at the watch party.
Yeah, I know. That was very good. I remember that play. But there was a couple of pass interferences that should have been called on the Giants, which never did. The first quarter, I think they should have got a pass interference call. Then they called a pass interference on the Giants, the Jets against the Giants, which, come on, let them play. You didn't call against the Giants. Don't call against the Jets,
I agree.
Yeah, that was horrible. And then you said they were on CBS yesterday. I watched it on NBC because
it was on both.
I like Bob Papa. That's why I like Bob Papa.
Good for you.
And Harry Carson, I like him. And I do like the guy.
It wasn't Harry Carson.
No, not Harry.
It was Carl Banks.
Carl Banks. Yeah, that's right. Carl Banks. He's great too. The guy, I do like the guy on CBS, Iron Eagle, right? He did
yes, and Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, the Buffalo, yeah, but he was great. For
Hold
the
on.
What?
4 road playoff wins, Mark Sanchez.
I know. I was cheering for the Jets when they didn't they beat the Chargers in the playoffs, right? 1 year.
Yes.
And then they played Pittsburgh both, right?
They lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The following year in the championship game, they lost to the Colts the first year.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we went down to one of the restaurants called it's not there anymore in Massachusetts. What's that wing place called?
I don't know. Who cares?
It was a good place.
I'm sure it was. Do you think anyone cares what restaurant you went to 15 years ago to watch a Jets playoff game?
I know. I just brought it up. All right. Well, I was cheering for the Jets last night.
Good. I'm
happy you had fun at your party last night. That was
you were missed, Bobby. Someone came up to me and goes, "I know when Bobby's coming on because my kids start singing his intro."
Oh, really? Who was that?
It was a lovely lady.
Lovely lady.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you who.
Her kids came on?
No, her kids love your intro music. Her husband watches the show, and when I play your intro, her kids get excited, and she knows that means that you're coming on.
Oh, is it Mr. Bonesy?
No.
Okay, well, I'm happy for him. He won the 2 tickets to the Jet game.
He did.
So that's good. I'm happy.
Also, Diggy Small says that he does care where you ate watching that game 15 years ago. So I stand corrected.
Don't worry about it. I forgot the name of the place, so don't worry
Okay.
about it. No big deal. All right, Jake. Thank you for having me on. I like Dylan too. It was good.
Yep.
He's a kid. I could call him a kid. I'm an old fart. So
Yeah, you are.
yeah, but I shaved today. Did you see me?
You look
shave?
good.
Yeah. And then I got my Jets hat on for you.
Hey, Paul's not a fan of yours. He says, "My lord, the show is as fun as pulling teeth with some of these guests."
Oh, Paul. Okay, let you call in once in a while and then stop typing. How's that?
Yeah. Get his ass, Bob.
Typewriter man. Come on, let's go. Talk to me. I want to talk. Paul, if you could type that way, you should talk the same way you type. So let's go, big boy. Let's go.
Bob, you have a good day, all right?
No, I want Paul to call in.
If he stay on hold, if he calls in, I'll bring you back.
Yeah, Paul, you better call in so we could have a talk.
Well, you know I love to talk and hate to type. Jake, when is your next show? Alan is a cartoon character. Bobby.
Strong words there from Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's guest host, Connor Long, is on the line. What's up, Connor? Connor, are we getting lunch tomorrow? Is that the plan?
Jake, if you're down, if you're around, I should be in the city. So
What brings you to New York City on a Monday?
Yeah, so I literally have nothing to do tomorrow morning, and my friend is working a job in a building, and it was his last day. So it's like, you know what? I might as well head into New York City and visit him on his last day of work. My biggest takeaway from today's show is that Dylan wouldn't give up the za for a Jets Super Bowl in 5 years.
Yep, that to me was stunning.
You would give up, your Hennessy and all that, right, for a Jets Super Bowl.
I'd give up Chipotle. I'd give up Hennessy. I'd give up pretty much most things for a Jets Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Yesterday's game, though, not going to go crazy. It was preseason. Biggest thing that stuck out to me is I don't think Malachi Corley has any chance of making this team whatsoever. I've been trying to defend the guy every opportunity I've gotten all summer long, but you see him going out with the third team. You see him committing personal fouls on kickoffs at the end of the game. It was just an absolute complete mess for Corley yesterday. And when you look at receivers like Quentin Skinner and Jamal Pritchett starting to elevate, I have both those guys making the roster. I thought Skinner's performance yesterday was nothing short of impressive. I want to get your thoughts though on Brandon Smith, because I like Smith. He continues to make plays, but in both of my 53-man roster predictions now that have come out after both preseason games, I have him on the practice squad just because I'd rather, give a roster spot to a guy like Jamal Pritchett, who's going to be your punt returner, who gives you offensive upside, alongside Quentin Skinner, a lanky downfield threat, averaged over 20 yards a catch at Kansas last year, over a guy like Brandon Smith, who's flashed in the preseason, was on the practice squad last year, but can't really do much in the regular season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I am curious to see if they can find a spot for Smith. If Lazard could go on short-term IR, does that clear a spot for him? Maybe something like that.
I had Skinner. I don't have Lazard on my 53-man roster. I had 6 wide receivers. The wide receivers I had were Wilson, Reynolds, Johnson, Arian Smith, Skinner, and Pritchett, and then I had Smith on the practice squad and Irv Charles opening the year on the PUP list.
Yeah, Irv's not making the team because he's hurt, so he's definitely on the PUP, so that you don't have to worry about that. Look, Skinner made a great catch last night. He did. I think it's still probably tough for him to make this team, but we'll see. I think Pritchard's on the team though. I think he's going to be the punt returner.
Do you think Nwangu's on the team? I think it's hard to pass up on that. All-pro pedigree as a returner. I have him carrying 4 running backs with Davis, Allen, Hall, and then Nwangu. Beck is your fullback, and then Edwards on the practice squad. Edwards was unable to really stick out yesterday, and he's someone I kept a close eye on, given the fact that Isaiah Davis was sidelined due to injury as well. And Nwangu, not only did he have that huge kickoff return that set the Jets up beyond the 40-yard line, he smacked the ball out of the end zone on that punt, the first punt of the game from McNamara to avoid a touchback. And he averaged over 5 yards per carry yesterday. That's a guy I think you need to stick around on this roster.
I think he's on the team. I think he solidified it last night. If he could be RB4, that's all you need him to be. And he's an elite returner. And we saw it already last night. And people maybe forget the touchback. It's now to the 35-yard line, not the 30. Like last year, they wanted the new kickoff rules to incentivize people having to actually do returns. but teams were still just saying, you know what? Instead of the 25, it's only the 30 for the touchback. We'll just start you at the 30. We'll deal with it. Now it's the 35. I think that is enough for teams to want to actually return it and see what they could do. So I think his ability to return kicks, that's one of those advantages the Jets will try and find to win those tight one-score games, those 50-50 games they need to win if they're going to be better than we think. So I think he's on the team.
Jake, appreciate you taking my call. And I will say, the caller, what was his name yesterday? Max? Is that his name?
Mad Max?
Mad Max. I love his takes, loved his insight. I was listening to the show as I was writing a little bit yesterday, and I heard his call. So I don't make enough bank to buy him a Garrett Wilson signed jersey, but what I will do is I will gift a membership in the chat, and that will go towards him getting an entry in the Jermaine Johnson signed jersey.
Wow. Connor, don't spend all your allowance money, man. You're going to be in New York. And tomorrow, you're going to be running around New York. What is this, like Home Alone? Tom Ace, Connor Long, lost in New York. Don't run into the sticky bandits, all right?
I'll live, hopefully at least. Hopefully.
All right. Text me. We'll figure out a lunch plan, all right?
Yes, sir, Jake. Appreciate it. See you soon, man. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's somehow only 14. Connor Long might be our smartest caller. Well done. He brought up Mad Max. Let me tell you, Mad Max, he might be a true madman. And guess what? Mad Max, he is on the line, baby.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall? What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Mad Max, what's up, man?
So I didn't think the Jets didn't play good yesterday. Justin Fields, he had 1 and 5. I don't think that was really good. I mean, a lot of the Jets fans are overreacting. I mean, I understand 20% passing rating is not good in the preseason, but, it's just preseason. The Jets, I feel like, play sloppy. Skinner had a really good touchdown. And then the Giants, I feel like they play good. I feel like, in my opinion, the Giants have a deeper quarterback room. Russell Wilson looks good. Quarterback Jackson Dart looks good. Even in quarterback 3, Jameis Winston's better than our quarterback 3, Brady Cook, in my opinion. Because, Jameis Winston can play really good against 3rd, 4th stringers. Even Tommy DeVito is good. Tommy DeVito is honestly really good for a 4th stringer. He won some games in 2023. I remember in 2023, like there was like a Tommy DeVito thing. Like everyone's like, "How you doing?" And like everyone was trying to be like Tommy DeVito. It was crazy. I didn't think
he doesn't actually talk like that though.
He's Italian.
He's Italian, and his agent dressed up like he was like he was Tony Soprano, on the show, but that wasn't really him. I mean, DeVito's not a bad backup though. Like if the Giants released him and the Jets claimed him, I would understand the Jets doing that. He might be better than Martinez or Cook.
I could see the Jets doing it, but I don't know. I feel like Martinez has potential though.
Martinez, yeah, I don't dislike Martinez. I think Tyrod's clearly the number 2 quarterback on this team though.
I don't know. I feel like Tyrod is like injury prone.
He is, but he's also their best quarterback besides maybe Fields. And you could argue in one game you have to win. Who do you want? Tyrod might be a better passer.
Yeah, Tyrod could be a better passer. So what are your 3 players you want to see next preseason game against the Eagles?
Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, and Mason Taylor, because I think the starting offense is going to be out there, and I want to see some passing game magic.
I agree. I want to see Justin Fields, Mason Taylor. I want to see Arian Smith in the starters with the ones. And then for defense, JT Fale. I want to see Azari Thomas more because that's Azari Thomas. And then
he might not be ready. Like he's just hurt. I think that's the thing.
It could be hurt, but and then the other defense, I want to see a little bit Malachi Moore. I don't know if he was in the last 2 games.
He was. He had a bad tackle attempt trying to use his shoulder. It was a bad play.
Yeah, it wasn't good, but hopefully Malachi Moore can bounce back.
He had one nice play on the line of scrimmage I saw as a run stuffer. I don't think he's ready to start just yet. I think Tony Adams will start opposite Cisco week 1.
Okay. I agree with that.
Now, have you thought about leaving your job at Jersey Mike's Mad Max and being an auctioneer?
No.
Repeat after me. Do I have 500 here? 500 over here. 600 here. 600 over there.
Nah. Yes, you have 500 over here. How you doing?
That's not an auctioneer. That's just an Italian guy. Has anyone ever said you look like Squints from The Sandlot?
No one's ever told me.
No?
So when does school start? Nah, I go to college. I go back like I go back after Labor Day. So, I go to Rowan.
Do you run track at Rowan?
No, I had track in high school, but I do different stuff at Rowan.
What do you do?
I do the bowling club. I'm actually a sports communication and media major.
Are you a good bowler?
I'm decent.
What's the best score you've ever bowled?
Probably like a 120. Like I did decent.
Nice. Is that good?
It's decent. Some people are in my school are like crazy at bowling. Someone will bowl like a 240 or something.
I like it. You want to? You're in sports media, so you want to be a broadcaster?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm figuring out like in my school, like Rowan is like very like diverse. There's like sports marketing, like podcasts. I like to go on these call-in shows all the time.
Dan writes, and Rowan is a party school. This kid definitely drops acid.
Man, it is a big party school. The labor day is like big. There was actually a day there's like 300 people in it, and they had some band. But the underground music scene is good.
Also, 120 is apparently very average.
It is.
But you said it was a good score, not average.
I said it was average. People did like 240. I said it was average.
Yeah, the chat is saying 120 is not very good.
I know.
Have you thought about calling in on Helium?
No. What's Helium? Is it a sports show?
No, it's you ever you ever see someone be able to blow up a balloon?
No. I've seen someone blow up a balloon before.
Yeah, not with their mouth, but with like helium out of the propane thing.
Yeah, bro. It's insane.
That's helium.
Yeah.
You play with bumpers when you bowl?
No. No bumpers at all. No bumpers.
No. Do you own a varsity bowling jacket?
No, do not.
Mike D's Nuts says that he could bowl 120 legally blind.
That's crazy. If you could bowl 120 legally blind, like it's crazy. That's actually good for someone who's blind. That's just me.
Do you think Rowan should recruit Mike D's Nuts to your team?
Yes, sir. But it's not really. But it's more like intramural. It's not like really a competitive team. It's more like you just play for fun. But he could be recruited.
Rick Kent says bowling is the worst pastime ever.
Disagree. I think it's fun. Getting better every week. That's just how it is.
Hey, Connor Long has gifted a membership in your honor. What are your thoughts?
Good job, Connor. I'll be on your show. Next show you have, I'll be on it.
Why do you think you need to be on his show? He didn't ask you.
Oh man, because I have so many good takes and stuff. I have so many good Jets takes. Yeah, I do.
How do you know that?
I just did. I mean, I had a really good Jets take on Matt Leary about Malachi Corley. I didn't like the pick at the time. I don't think he's making the 53-man roster at all. Like I was defending Corley, like because he could be the punt returner, but he didn't even show me anything last night. And there's better receivers like Quentin Skinner. Like Skinner is way more potential than Malachi Corley. I don't think he's even going to make the 53-man roster. And even when he was on the field, he had such a bad penalty.
So it sounds like that you think that you offer the greatest of takes, Mad Max.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're certainly very humble about it.
Sounds good. It's nice calling. Right. It was nice calling your show, Jay Gazin.
There he is, Mad Max, having to call everyone by their first and last name, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes.
What do you guys' opinion on me doing a backflip through this orange wall?
Mad Max, thank you. All right, home stretch of the show here. If you're on hold, I promise we will get to you because, folks, we still have to do our Jermaine Johnson raffle, so get ready for that. But first, a couple comments that need to be addressed, including a gifted membership from the Human Fund, who's the latest to enter the raffle as well. We're light on memberships. Great chance to win, not just today, where we have a signed JJ jersey, but tomorrow, signed Revis jersey, signed Nick Mango jersey, signed Corbett helmet. Let's go, baby. Second show tomorrow, in all likelihood, we'll raffle that away. Check the Discord for updates on that. Cody says, would Jake give up Margot Robbie for a Super Bowl? Yeah. You kidding me? 100%. Margot Robbie lasts the night. A Jets Super Bowl lasts forever. PBM says the only thing I'm not giving up is sexy time with my wife. Everything else can go. Bang! I get it. What if you had to give up sexy time with your wife for a year? Would you be able to do it? That's the question. All right. A legend is on the line right now. Before I bring this guy on, why don't we recap what happened yesterday in one of the more wild Saturday shows we've had in a very long time? We had the return of the Dream. And then we had the Dream versus the Dream occur on the program. The Dream is up next. I don't recognize the Dream here.
This is Andrew C. Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Andrew? Okay. Now, the Dream, have you had any alcoholic beverages this morning?
Absolutely.
I can
This
tell.
morning, yeah. I drink. I have a dog, a pit bull. He's part of the team, too. I'm an ass maniac. Yeah.
Welcome to the tournament next March. For the second time, the Dream is next. Hello, the Dream.
Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson are making the team.
They are. I'm pretty confident in that.
Like I told you, I was on the and my homie right here.
Do you like drinking or Aaron Glenmore?
Drinking.
Do you think your liver hates you?
Yeah, my lungs too. Yeah.
That, folks, is an all-timer. Real quick, the Dream is called back. I like how your glasses are crooked there, Dream.
Well, I mean, it's broken on this side. Who's this guy?
Mama face the dog face the banana patch.
You the Dream too?
Yeah, I'm Dream too. I'm trying to find the other piece of my glasses and broke off.
Huh?
Huh?
Where's your pit bull? Huh?
There you go. My dog.
All right, this guy is pretty good.
I'm pretty find him somewhere. He is on the ground. He's running on the dog bone.
How do you
well,
how do you have a pair of glasses just like me? Bro?
Multiverse. The multiverse.
Multiverse. Who do you think is going?
Guys, back off the booze, though, pal.
What do you think is Zach? What do you think Zach Wilson's up to? Did you see that Zach Wilson throw when he dropped it right at his feet?
It's like, dream.
That was me yesterday.
I had a dream.
Oh, no. I'm worried about Dream 2.
Is this guy all right? I don't know.
I gotta lay off this sauce. Need new glasses. Can't see, goddammit. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
That's not good.
I shouldn't have had that last drink. I have to find my cigarette. I might burn the house down.
When I was driving my truck the other day, I was singing the Purple Mike theme song. That shit was catchy.
I can't get up.
Dude, you're way worse than me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show is unlike anything I've ever experienced. Amazing. The Dream 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Gator joins us now, or is he the Dream? Hello, Gator.
You're way worse than me.
Hell, man. That Max has a lot of energy. He never stops talking. Jeez. I like him. I think he, if he calls in a lot more and starts to refine his points, I think he could be a pretty good regular.
He's in the tournament.
Yeah. Quickest to have his own little intro there. That was weird. Anyway, I did have a Jets point. I wanted to talk about Justin Fields and this passing offense because I didn't really see much out of Martinez either. It seemed as though even his passes that were caught were offline, and the receivers struggled to reel him in. But I think the more alarming thing to me is it's not just this preseason game. You know, everything we've heard about, even from the guys, the beat reporters and such, just watching these practices and watching these scrimmages and such, just doesn't seem like Justin Fields is doing very much of anything in terms of throwing the ball more than 10 yards and having any sort of accuracy. I'm really concerned that, that these defenses we're going to face are going to just, take the run game out and not worry about Fields, hitting us down the field. By the way, I'm watching the Jacksonville Saints game, which is super exciting, preseason. So, I don't know how it's possible for us to win the first 3 games. I was watching the Tampa receivers, man. Those receivers, if they're healthy, that Tampa offense is going to be tough. We could go 0-3. I hate to say it.
Well, that's why they got to steal week 1.
Yeah, but that's not going to be easy.
No, none of it's easy. The first 4 weeks, they're playing 3 teams that were in the playoffs and a division opponent, and Jets Dolphins is always tight.
What's week 4?
Miami.
In Miami?
In South Florida, yep.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Like I said, I was really disappointed watching last night. I was hoping to see a little bit more out of Fields. I should have kept him in longer, but again, I'm concerned about our passing game. It's like non-existent.
They're short weapons. I've been saying this, and also once again, a lot of what I think they want to do with Fields, you won't see in preseason games. I think they'll do a lot of rollouts and RPOs, and hey, cover half the field here, check it down. If not, play action, throw the ball. They're not showing any of that. That's why I would have loved to have seen a third drive, but I mean, it was 7-6 at halftime. Fields led them to a 1 scoring drive, a field goal over 2 drives. They could run the ball really well, Gator. If you could dominate the time of possession, we saw as bad as Fields was throwing. What was the score at halftime? 7-6.
True. No, that's definitely true. But I was less concerned about what I was seeing from the Giants, and more concerned about the fact that I just don't see any improvement in terms of the passing game, and all of the scrimmage stuff that we've seen, all the highlights that we've seen, in practices and such. There's so much bad in his throwing arm that was the complaint that we heard with Fields, from Chicago and Pittsburgh fans talking about how he struggles to throw the ball downfield, and now we're seeing it. And now I'm sort of like getting that that the realization that we don't have a gunslinger, and can we compete with a quarterback that can't sling the ball like a top 15, even top 20 quarterback? And I
Probably
think
not, but his ability to run should be enough where you could win games with him. Like he was 4-2 last year as a starter.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say if they would have been able to keep that up, but I mean, defenses are going to know how to defend that kind of an offense with Fields just not being a threat.
It's a concern, man. I mean, but it was a concern before 2 drives last night, even when they looked good in the opening drive. I've been pounding the table for a lack of weapons and needing another one for a while now. So hopefully Angstran's awesome. Guys get schemed open. They have a great running game. You're asking Fields to not do too much. Like, that's what you're hoping. It's all hope, though. I mean, until we see it, Justin Fields should be considered a below average passer till proven otherwise.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree. I think it's going to be I think temper expectations. I know everybody's saying, oh, it's just preseason. But, I'm kind of trying to just look at everything I've seen over the last month. And, I'm just a little bit nervous about it. But, I don't think anybody thinks we're winning a Super Bowl this year. So we just need to try to find a way to improve.
We got to win week 3 when everyone is staying at Gator's house and enjoying the Asmaniac Tampa takeover.
Right on.
I heard you're hosting all 42,000 of my subscribers.
There's still some details to work out, but yeah, we're hoping that Tampa Boston Red Sox game that's across the street gets moved, because right now it's at the same time. It's going to be a nightmare for the parking lot.
Ooh, don't like that.
Yeah, it could be a game that means something for Boston. So, anyway, sorry, I don't have anything funny today. I'm just chilling. I'm doing the
Big Joe.
Like I said, I'm watching a freaking preseason Jacksonville Saints. So how exciting can my day be?
The Jaguars uniforms, I just put the game on because you said something so ugly.
Yeah. What's going on with Gabe Davis? Is he still with Jacksonville? No,
he's a free agent.
He is a free agent. Okay. Nobody signed him. Wow.
Correct.
Okay. Well, there's somebody that we could get, but I don't know. Does a weapon matter if Fields can't get them the ball? I really hope that there's some growth in his passing.
We do need that. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Gator, well done.
You get the fuck out.
Ladies and gentlemen, home stretch of calls. My alter ego is next on the line today. Hello, my alter ego. Oh, it's
Hey,
Jam.
Jake, how's it going?
Who's the alter ego?
This is the more comfortable side of Justin, you could say. Well done, Mr. McCluskey. Well done. That was pretty good impersonation of the dream. I enjoyed that. So, shout out to him. The game, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from them, but I'm not crazily disappointed. I know they're still trying to, figure things out. I would have liked to have seen Fields get one more drive, but preseason, I don't want him to get hurt. Understandable. I do like the Skinner kid. That was a hell of a catch in the end zone. I would like to see him on the team. I know it's going to be tough, but beyond Garrett and Brees, there's not a lot of great receiving other than, if you want to throw Mason Taylor in there or, Arian Smith. But beyond those guys, he's got a big frame. He seems like he's pretty athletic, so I'd like to see him on the team. And I heard your event went well yesterday.
It did. People were asking where James is.
Oh yeah. I'll try to get out there sometime. I would probably have to fly, but yeah, maybe one day I'll try to swing out there and catch an event. I would
one day, Jams. One day.
Yeah. I'd like to go to a game. I've been to a basketball game, but never a football game. And more importantly, never a Jets game. Also, was I gonna say?
Well, Jams, I hope you get to go to a Jets game soon.
Yeah, that would. I'm not gonna say it's a dream of mine, but it'd be pretty fantastic.
What are you doing right now, Jams? Just walking around the home?
I am at work taking care of my consumers.
Where are the consumers?
Right. Here's one.
Oh, yeah.
And here's my other one. He's eating lunch.
Fantastic, Jams.
Yeah. Not, like I said before, it's not the greatest. It's certainly not my favorite job, but I mean, it pays my bills. So, where off your site do you have like sauce shirts, or do you just have like the Garrett and Beastbreaker one?
Just Garrett and Beastbreaker.
Okay. I'll try to get the Garrett one. And maybe one of their jerseys. What's a good site that you would recommend?
NFL.com.
NFL.com. Can I get a reasonably cheap one there? Or are they going to be like 60-ish and above?
They're more than $60.
Are they? Is it like 80, 100?
$1,000 typically.
Oh, okay. That's a tad expensive.
Gator
But,
says Jam started strong, but falling back into his usual lost days.
yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, like I said, I get you know, a little camera shy and or nervous.
So you're
But
camera shy, but then you just threw the camera on two of your patients you're watching over.
yes.
I see.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else.
Well, James, you let us know if you think about it, all right?
All right.
You get the fuck out.
That was a adventure right there. Thank you, James. All right. Let's destroy Abdul Carter for a moment, okay? So for those who missed it last night, this happened. Abdul Carter got absolutely wrecked by Stone Smart, right? Everyone watch this again. And then watch it again. And then watch it one more time. Oh, yeah. Abdul Carter has the audacity to quote tweet the play from the NFL's Twitter account and say it might be the only highlight of the Jets all season. And we put BTA, weak ass chip, ate that MF like a barbecue. Shut up, Abdul Carter. You're now public enemy number one. You and Kayvon Thibodeau. These guys love running their mouths. Now, Carter is, I think, actually going to be really good. Unlike Thibodeau, who's a top 5 pick who has not lived up to the expectations. But shut up, Abdul Carter. You play for the Giants. Last I checked, the Giants have been just as bad as the Jets in recent memory. All right? Both teams have been dog shit. Let's be honest. Both teams have stunk. You have no right to talk trash at all and act like, oh, only highlight from the Jets this year. Shut up. The Giants actually, over the last 8 years, have a worse record than the Jets. Shut up. Shut up, Abdul Carter. Oh, I hope the Giants suck this year now. Now I'm angry. And their schedule is brutal, so good luck. Good luck, Abdul Carter. Talk shit on the Jets, really? Have you seen what your schedule looks like this year? At Commanders, at Cowboys, home Chiefs, home Chargers, at Saints, home Eagles, at Broncos, at Eagles, home Niners, at Bears, home Packers, at Lions. Okay. Shut up. You got ragdolled. It happens. You're a rookie. I think Carter's still going to be a great player. Your team is not good, though, till proven otherwise. Shut up, Abdul Carter. Give me a break. More calls, shall we? South Ass is on the line. He's next. Hello, South Ass. Unmute your mic, South Ass. There you go.
What's up, Jake? Fuck the Giants, bro. They're garbage. My bad. I'm bringing laundry detergent downstairs. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, the connection's choppy, South Ass. Call back when you get above ground, and I'll go back to you. Let's say hello in the meantime to John. Hello, John.
That was hilarious. Sorry. I'm camera shy. Let me show you my patience. I'm dead.
Unreal.
Can't make this shit up. Yeah, I do call her. Got like watching the game and hearing the commentary. It was like really. I feel like Giants skewed on NFL Plus because like I'm out of network, so I had to use NFL Plus and stuff. But yeah. But when that happened, they're like, "Oh, you just got stonewalled," you know. So that was pretty cool. But I wanted to talk about freaking Charleston Jet. He was like extrapolating our score ratio for each game based off of preseason performance, and I feel like that's just a little bit too early to do.
Yeah.
Like this whole each drive we're gonna get 3.3. Then stop. Like on how many drives? Come on.
Football's not played on a spreadsheet, so you can't do it.
Exactly. I mean, it's our team play is only going to be our team film is only going to go so far, mostly in the preseason, because again, like everybody's saying, it's time to try some stuff and to work out the kinks. Penalties are going to be there, of course. People mostly on the back end. All of our third string guys are literally fighting for a paycheck. So, there's going to be a lot of, not as many cool heads. But yeah, so the whole plan is the plan thing that we've been talking about for the week. Aaron Glenn brought up. I think he's just sick of saying the same things. I think at the end of the day, he's going to want his starters to play in the preseason. He's going to want to run the ball. He already gave the plan for that, and what this regime's going to look for with a offense and a defense. And then at the end of the day, what he's trying to put out is a proof of concept. Now he's pretty much in any type of a job, and you're in charge of operations. You're going to need to show proof of concept, and his is just accountability, running, and with Tanner Ekstrand, going to be those RPOs. So definitely excited about anything under third and fourth, or third down with 4 yards to go. I think we're going to be good. I think Brandon Allen's going to be doing great. And I'm really excited for this freaking cruise. I have to get my passport updated, but that's going to be fucking awesome.
Let's
and
go. Book before the 7th, so you save money, all right?
Yep. I don't think I'm going to be able to get before 7, but I'll pay the fucking $500. I'll pay more. I'll pay more. This is going to be awesome. So I appreciate you guys, and good luck at Circa. I hope you make some money.
You're the man. John, thank you.
You get the fuck out.
Info for the cruise. Cruisewithlegends.com. More calls. South Ass is above ground. He's next. Hey, South Ass.
Hey, Jake. Just how we got to call in. I'm just hanging out. My glasses. I found the piece. This is the standard now. If you wear glasses, you got to wear them like this. Yo, you like my inflatable I just got at Sam's Club?
The Dream, is that you?
Dream 2.0, baby. But no, all right, time for serious points. About the game, I saw a lot of opportunity for Fields to take it outside when the DNs all bid in on a couple RPOs. Maybe they're telling him not to in the preseason because they know we can do it. Just hand it off up the middle, even if the DNs pinch on the mesh point. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Couple sketchy throws, but a lot of it's going to be mesh point, get the linebacker to come in and hit a slant across the middle, which isn't pretty, but it can get 7-30 like Odell Beckham used to take a slant to the house, But Giants, fuck the Giants. My Giants friend called me, oh, Jackson Dart's going to be a problem, bro. I'm like, are you really texting me this at midnight right now? Like, I wanted to drive to his house and take a shit on his porch and light it on fire and then ring the doorbell and drive away. I'm like, based off of what? He's going against third and fourth stringers? Like, whatever, bro. But, yeah, I really wanted to call in and show you this. Anyone who's got Sam's Club, check this shit out. I just went over there. 7 feet wide, 10 feet tall. This bad boy's going in the front yard so we can take it down as soon as we lose. Now, hopefully we can leave it up all week, But $80, bro. Got the chair, too. So
it's a good deal.
I'm ready to enjoy some hopefully wins, because you know how when you lose, you got to take everything off because you feel like a loser for wearing your Jets gear.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be me deflating this thing in my front yard, and my neighbors are gonna be laughing at my ass. So
you look great though. For at least now, I like it. You got a great deal.
That's it. Even Christmas time, if we suck, it's green. It's a Christmas decoration,
There you go. So, show it off one more time.
All right, let me spin it around. Let's spin the camera. Thing's sick, bro. It's fucking 10 feet tall.
Wow. What did you say that cost?
It was $80 at Sam's Club.
That's a great deal. You bring that. Are you coming to our meetup for the Panther game?
Yeah, I was gonna say, should I bring it? Does anyone have a plug?
Bring that. Bring that. Dude, someone will have a plug.
Taller than the trailer, bro.
I love that. Yeah, we need that at our tailgate.
I'll bring it, bro. I'll bring some weights and we'll get it popping. They got this chair too for $29. Not bad. Figure fuck it, We went to buy groceries. I spent $230 on jet shit for some reason. The life of us. So we're hopeful, But,
I love it. South Ass, the Dream.
Yo, real quick, as far as the game, I didn't get like section or nothing. It just showed section, not rows. We didn't get specific tickets yet, right? Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
You're registered. I have the tickets that the Jets will be sending us, and then the email you use to sign up for, I will send it out. We'll have tailgate info coming. By the way,
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually could share the tailgate info now for those. Nick Shine is in charge of that with Tailgate Joe.
Yep.
It's pretty easy. It's $65. It includes all you can eat, drink, and eat and games. We're going to do a raffle for everyone that buys a tailgate ticket too. Lot E26. You go to Tailgate Joe's website. You can see the full food menu, but you can either Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App Nick, and he'll put you down on the list for our
So
group.
just a
for the
parking
tailgate.
pass would be the last thing everyone would need, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Hell yeah, bro. I'm pumped. We'll see you there.
Ladies and gentlemen, South Ass. All right, home stretch here. Couple super chats I want to get to. David says, Mad Max, enter the raffle. NYC to SRQ. I won in on the JJ jersey. You're in, NYC. I got you in for 5. Can't wait for Tampa happy hour and the tailgate. Me too. Tampa's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the Jets are not 0-2 going into that game. Tyrone Garcia with a super chat. He's in the raffle for 2. Run game looks good. O-line. Also, Rodgers would have been nice with Dart on the bench, which is looking like a good pick. Not excited about Fields, though. Let's hope. Go Jets. I mean, look, Dart's look good, but he's a rookie, and Zach Wilson was great in the preseason as a rookie, too. Let's be patient with any young quarterback, but Giant fans are celebrating that they found their guy. That's probably how a lot of Jet fans would be, too, if a year from now the Jets draft someone that looked good in the preseason. HCO, referring to Abdul Carter's trash talk, says, hi, everyone. That trash talk will make the regular season game more interesting. They don't play the Giants in the regular season, HCO. They play the Cowboys instead. They don't play the Giants. The Patriots finished worse than the Jets last year. So the Jets have a third-place schedule. So they got paired up with the Cowboys, not the Giants. Final couple calls here. Robin Boy is next, followed by David T. And our closer will be Ricky NY. What's up, Robin? Uh-oh. You're on the air, Robin, but you don't know that you're on the air. And we can't hear you. Oh, no. Great setup, though, Robin. I like what we have there. Like the hat collection, like the TV. Keep doing your thing. We might not be able to hear you, but we see you. And we love your passion for the New York Jets. All right. Try again, Robin. We'll go to you first next show. Ladies and gentlemen, up next is this guy.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hey, Jake.
David T.
Hey, yeah, you have us Florida people on, and if my facts are right, we're the third watched state from for your show.
That's correct. New York 1, New Jersey 2, Florida number 3 among my most popular states where my viewership is.
I think we can get up to number 2. I don't know about number 1, but we're growing and just a great Florida Jet fan base.
A lot of transplant New Yorkers there. That's why.
Yeah, I know. Me being down here, I mean, most people, people are from other places, cold states and all that kind of stuff. But New York, I mean, it's really, really dominant meeting people from New York. All you got to do is walk around with a Jets or a Yankee or a Knicks hat on, and people come up and talk to you. It's really interesting. But Gator was on. He said he had nothing funny to say, but you're listening to him and all the good stuff that he does, the creative stuff and the funny stuff that just enhances the show so much, But I do agree with him. The concern all year is going to be Justin Fields' arm, and hopefully Angstrat can put him in position where he can make some throws, to at least offset everything. And then I come home from work the other night, and I had the show on, and the young people, you had a young fellow by the name of Jack on, and he was really knowledgeable, and I took notice he had a Joe Namath shirt in the background, and that made me feel good. And the other thing is your caller, Murph, the guy that works for Coke.
Yeah, he's our Coke dealer.
Yeah, he's a Coke dealer. Yeah. Well, I worked for Pepsi for over 30 years.
Wow.
So this is the fun thing, and this could, Gator could come up with some stuff for him, but he's calling from his truck. It looks like he drives a 53-footer, and I worked in the warehouse all the time, and we used to load them, unload them with the forklift and everything. But I was fascinated by you questioning him about his work, and he's walking through the truck, and I got memories like driving in and out of those trucks like thousands of times and I just thought it was pretty cool. But he if he keeps calling in more and everything, he could be Murph from the beverage truck, or Murph from the truck, or whatever.
Now, David,
So-
are you still a company man? Do you like Pepsi better than Coke? Do you like Coke better than Pepsi?
Well, you know what, and I figured you were going to ask me this. While I was working, if you would, if I would have drank Coke or another beverage or whatever, it would be like like a Ford salesman, driving a Chevy. You can't do that because that's your bread and butter. But I'm retired now, and then down south here, I mean, like where I work and everywhere you go, it's Coke, and I always liked Diet Coke. I mean, since I'm retired, I have no qualms about it, but I actually like, Diet Coke better than Diet Pepsi. At work, I drink Diet Coke or Coke Zero. So yeah, like I said, while I was working and everything, like, would have been like a Ford salesman, driving a Chevy. So, that was, can't go against your bread and butter.
David T, a company man. Respect.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me, full screen. It's fireball, whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
One last caller. So if you want in on the raffle, this is your last chance to be able to do it. All right, I got the names right here. We got the jersey right here. Signed Jermaine jersey. And tomorrow is our weekly raffle. So your last chance to enter that. Get ready, folks. On the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is our closer. Is he fired up? It's Ricky NY time.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Hey, easy tongues, you know it's from Florida State. At any rate, I call it the smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Jake, what's happening?
Ricky.
Not real fired up today. I think I might be getting a cold or something. But I wanted to ask you. I haven't had a chance to go back and rewatch any of the game from last night. But that long touchdown play. Now, seeing all the tweets that came out about it when it happened, like the people from the Giants beat, just made it sound like, we got beat badly. But when Samini put his tweet out, it said that Cisco stumbled on that play. And that's why that guy was able to get deep on him. I didn't see it on the camera angle that I saw initially. And like I said, I haven't been able to go back and watch it. But, if that's true, then that's like one fluky play, and that was the difference in the score at the beginning of that thing. Real quick, dude, that inflatable thing that South Ass had, that was pretty cool.
Money well spent.
I'd buy one of those. Being that I'm down in the South, I doubt my Sam's Club has one of those. But I would definitely buy one of those. Also, Abdul Carter, dude, like, shut up. Not only did Stone Smart just level him, but then he got hit again by the guard, and he got put on his ass 3 times in one play. Like, it irritates me hearing those guys talk the way that they do. I'm really I'm kind of hoping that maybe Fields at our offense is like maybe sandbagging a little bit. And, I know that people don't show their hands in preseason, but yeah, I don't know. I hope they're just holding back a lot, and that when the actual games start, that the play is going to be elevated. Unfortunately, I cannot get in on your Jermaine Johnson raffle. I'm on raffle restriction right now. I went 4 different times trying to win one of those Kevin Mawai jerseys, and so until my next paycheck, no more raffle for me till I get paid again. But man, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody down here. Looking forward to this year kicking off, and you know what? I feel like maybe I'm like the Justin Fields of content people, because I might not have the most accurate delivery all the time, but my ability to run, my mouth, is second to none. So hopefully that's enough to keep me in the content game. But man, great show as always. You doing an afternoon show today?
No, it's a Sunday. Come on.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I had to ask.
The show's 3.5 hours long, Ricky. You want more? You want another show today?
You know what? I didn't realize that it was that long, because I must have come in like halfway through or
I'm
something.
not even done working today, though. I'm doing a hit with the New York Post for their video team at 4:15, and I somehow agreed to join Nick Shine at 8 p.m. tonight. So my day's just getting started, Ricky. So if you want more of me, you're in luck.
Oh, awesome. One last question before I go. When are you going to have Tanky on the show again?
Good question. Soon, probably. There's no set time for him.
Because I'll tell you what, I saw a story this past week, and I thought about him immediately. You know how atrocious his takes can be sometimes, but that Sauce Gardner and his social media, and he's just making Sauce to seem like a bad guy. I'm curious to hear Tanky V's response to Sauce Gardner taking his entire $19 million signing bonus and donating it to help homeless people. So I don't know if
just a thing on that. Sauce is obviously amazing, great guy. That story's not true, though. I didn't see that anywhere. Yeah, he didn't donate $19 million to homeless people. I'm not saying Sauce maybe didn't donate to charity or something, but like I looked into that. That's not a real thing to my knowledge.
Really? Okay. I got duped. That sucks.
Yeah, you got fake news. But I'll tell you what, Ricky, we still love you.
Now that is a hot take. Damn.
Hey, congrats to Jersey Jet. He received his signed Sauce jersey. He got it in one day. That's how efficient I am. So if you win this, unless you live overseas, you'll get it pretty quick if you contact me, your info. Ladies and gentlemen, it's raffle time. Thanks to everyone who entered. Let's spin the Wheel of Champions and find out who's going to win a signed JJ jersey.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Who you got? Now, Jets Forever 2 has the most entries. 40 of them. Because he sent in a $200 super chat earlier in the show. But I was in communication with Jets Forever number 2. And he would like to donate his entries to a listener that is in the chat right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see the name Jets Forever 2 get called during this raffle, one of our channel moderators, committee members, Rich, will be the winner of the jersey. That is from the man himself, JF2, who I know personally, who reached out to me after he made that unbelievable gesture. So Rich has the most entries. That makes sense? How about that for generosity? Incredible. Good luck to Rich and everyone who entered. If you don't win, you got a chance to win tomorrow. Second show in all likelihood. We will raffle away our top prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, spin the wheel. The winner of the jersey is Fly by Night. Fly by Night, congratulations. Well deserved. He called the show earlier. He's a true Jets fan. Fly by Night, if you're watching, I hope you still are. AsmanJake@gmail.com. This was his super chat that got him in for 5. Fly by Night, your winner of the signed Jermaine Johnson jersey. Hit the Jet chant. Love that. That's a show, folks. Fly by Night, your big winner. Hell yeah. One more time. Jet chant me, damn it. Yeah. All right. Again, thank you to everyone. Please subscribe to the show if you haven't done so already. We're trying to get to 50,000 by the end of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, love you all. Thanks to everyone who came out to our event last night. If you have pictures from the event, please post them in the Discord. Email them to me. Would love to share those with the audience. Great turnout. Great crowd. Great vibes. V-Man won the top prize. Unbelievable. Unreal. So again, thanks to everyone who made it such a fun night and everyone who will be at our future party. Stay tuned for info on when our next live event will be. I am appearing at the Badlands event next week. I'm hosting that for them, emceeing it. So if you want to spend the afternoon talking Jets, hanging out with content creators, Matt O'Leary, I know will be there as well. Buy your ticket. The link is in the description and use code ASMAN. So I get credit for sending you there. On that note, that does it for me. I'm going to end the show with a clip that I feel should be played on a day like today. Reminder, JETS, 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 Jets. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you all, and be on the lookout for 2 shows tomorrow.
Who was that lovely lady?
That was Carly.
Oh. Anyway.
Yep. Charles, I think we talked about you calling in and chewing on the air again. You couldn't wait till after your call to eat, talk to me, and then you eat.
Anyway,
this is a great angle for you, Charles. Even better angle. Where are you calling us from?
Burger King in Hope Lawn.
What did you get?
A BK Royal Crispy Sandwich with Swiss cheese on it. No tomato. About to finish up my fries. I'm about to have a slice of birthday cake.
Very nice. Charles, I think you should give all your takes from this angle moving forward.
Oh, this is what I'm gonna do to you all, seasoned little bitches.
Take that, you pesky Patriots fans. Oh, yeah, the dream season we've been waiting for is happening.
He's gonna die!
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.